You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
4 a.m. on the dot. That's a live look at I-65 at Old Hickory Boulevard, where we are just finishing up with a major crash that had the interstate shut down. We'll tell you more about that coming up in a few.
And we have a heat advisory in effect for a few of our counties. I'll show you more on that, and also what that rain chance is now looking like for tomorrow. All those details coming up.
And bringing home the hardware. The Tennessee Volunteers are now national champions after their win over the Aggies. We'll show you the highlights from Omaha. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Justin McFarland. We are going to get to all of those stories coming up in a few. But first, we want to begin with the breaking news happening out of East Nashville. 5 suspects are in custody after police officers say that they were shot at. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live for us this morning in East Nashville with an update. And Madeline, we know this situation started in Nashville, but it ended miles away.
That's right. It ended in Mount Juliet, but we are here in East Nashville, and the scene has since cleared, but it all happened around 11 p.m. right here on Howerton Street and North 5th Street when a Metro detective was shot at while conducting surveillance in the area. Now, if you take a look at your screens, you'll see pictures provided to us by the Metro Nashville Police Department. Around 20 shell casings were found at the scene, but the detective was unharmed and no officers fired at the suspects. According to MNPD, the shooters fled in a stolen Infiniti, leading police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notified the Mount Juliet Police Department, and they quickly responded, deploying a spike system as the suspects exited I-40 onto Golden Bear Gateway at Volunteer Boulevard. The car was stopped and 5 suspects ran into the woods nearby, according to police. Alongside officers from other agencies, Mount Juliet officers were able to set up a perimeter around the woods and were able to apprehend all 5 of the suspects. The suspects, all from Nashville, are now in Metro Nashville custody, but this is still an ongoing investigation. We'll be sure to keep you all updated as we learn more. For now, live here in Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Madeline, thank you so much. We also want to continue to follow situation in steer clear traffic. We had an accident earlier this morning on I-65 at Old Hickory Boulevard in Madison. That accident did have injuries. At one point, the entire interstate was shut down. Just about 20 minutes ago, there were police cars everywhere, but they have gotten all that cleaned up and out of the way now, so things are a lot better there on the north side. We're also dealing with several other crashes, one in Coffee County. That one is also cleared. We'll continue to watch things out there for you coming up in the next few minutes. In the meantime, we are bracing for one of the hottest days of 2024. We could hit triple digits later today, which would put us near record territory. Let's get over to Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Brent Luna. He can tell you exactly how hot it's going to be as we get outside today.
Justin, I can tell you it is going to be another hot one for us. We have heat advisories or excessive heat warnings in effect for most of the central portions of the country. Also down there along the Gulf Coast too. Excessive heat warnings in that shade of purple. That's going to be for areas around the Mississippi Delta. West Tennessee, most areas in that heat advisory. We do have a few of our counties in Middle Tennessee right here in that heat advisory as well. Heat index values along the Tennessee River could be pushing up to about 105 or so. That's areas like Henry, Benton, and Decatur County under that heat advisory. So it's going to be a hot one for all of us, but I think the highest temperatures are going to be out west. Also, those higher dew point temperatures too, making it feel very muggy out that direction near the Tennessee River. 69 degrees right here in Nashville. It is a dry start for us. Temperatures for everybody else, low to upper 60s for most areas. 61 down in Tullahoma. We have 66 in Columbia and down in Lewisburg as well. Radar not showing any sort of rainfall for us. It is all dry on the radar right now, so no rain right now, and that's how we're going to stay through the remainder of the day too. Plenty of sunshine for us today. We will see a few clouds, but mostly sunny skies. 80 degrees your temperature by 9 o'clock. We'll be in the lower 90s by noon, and then by 5 o'clock we'll be in the mid 90s. Here's your 7-day forecast. 98 the high today, 95 on Wednesday. Wednesday we also bring in that better chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms.
All right, thank you, Brett. We appreciate it. Well, a big night for the Big Orange. UT wins their first ever College World Series championship, and the game was one for the history book. It certainly was not easy, as it took all 3 games for the College World Series to make it happen for the Volunteers. Let's take a look at some of the highlights there from Omaha. We begin in the first inning, and that's going to be Christian Moore going yard right there to put the Vols on the board. Then later on, a couple of innings later, with a runner on, that is Dylan Dreiling, who goes yard. Then in the final inning, that is Aaron Combs on the mound. Sit down, sir. And national championship for the Volunteers, their first ever in baseball. 6-5 the final score over the Texas A&M Aggies. They also become the very first #1 seed to win it all in college baseball since 1999. Congratulations to the Volunteers. I'm sure we'll be getting reaction and also talk about some of the local players on this team. There are quite a few coming up here a little bit later. Well, 2 suspects are now behind bars. This is after a man is found dead along a set of train tracks. We've got 4:08 is the time in Operation Crime and Justice. 1 man has died, and the Chattanooga Police Department is still putting together the pieces of a very scary situation that took place at an office building very close to the Hamilton Place Mall. This happened around 2 p.m. on Monday. Officers began receiving calls from shoppers about a man walking around the area with a gun. Witnesses say that the man made it very clear that he had bad intentions and wanted to do harm to someone or perhaps himself. Well, this caused multiple businesses to go on lockdown. Officers say the gunman ended up killing himself. No one else was hurt. The situation is still under investigation. The Robertson County Sheriff's Office has arrested 2 people now. This is for the death of a man whose body was found along a set of railroad tracks very close to the Montgomery County border. Now, officials say that this woman and her son are accused of shooting and killing Carlos Camanja. This happened at a home in Springfield. Investigators say they took his body and dumped it along a set of train tracks. The mother is believed to be the victim's girlfriend at the time of the shooting. Right now, there's no word on any motive. This morning's Crisis in the Classroom shows us 2 new reports with some alarming statistics about education in Tennessee. The latest TCAP results show only 46% of 4th graders are proficient in reading. This is just a 2% increase from last year. Now, one of the reports we looked at says that Tennessee is number 32 in the country for education. The new report shows that students are struggling in all 4 of the major categories: English, math, science, and social studies. Education leaders say this is all very alarming.
We had done a lot of things during the pandemic, which we were led to believe would actually make us in a better position to do better. And so, unfortunately, with the results, we didn't see some of the things we'd like to do.
Well, the state has tried addressing reading proficiency with 3rd grade retention laws, which is a law where a student can be held back and forced into tutoring or summer school if they don't pass the English portion of that TCAP test. But others believe more needs to be done to prepare students for success. Well, Crisis in the Classroom is our commitment to exposing problems and finding solutions when it comes to the school system. If you have any story you think we should do, you can send us an email, news@fox17.com, or call our tip line, 615-266-4149. Steer clear traffic. We are following a situation that was taking place down in Rutherford County. That's where they were doing some overnight construction. 1 lane was blocked. Looks like everything is fine now. We're going to be taking a look at some other areas of town coming up in a few.
And today's going to just be another hot one for us. Heat advisories in effect for a few of our counties. Will also be
4:13 is the time. Let's get to Brent Luna. He's got a look at your forecast and another hot one. And we could be talking about record-breaking heat coming up here, Brent.
I think we might be just a little bit below record-breaking.
Okay.
So I think the record today is 101 or so. I think we might be held about 98, but very close to it. Still about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. So anyway, you slice it, it's going to be a hot one for us today. Heat advisories are in effect for a few of our counties. That's Henry, Benton, and Decatur County. This is going to run from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Heat index values pushing up to about 105 or so. So very warm, especially the closer to the Tennessee River you get. Temperatures right now, early this morning, they're in the 60s for most areas. 61 Tullahoma, same goes for McMinnville. 69 here in Nashville. 72 in Paris. Is 71 right now over there in Camden. As far as any rain goes, none of that really anywhere too close to us. It's all dry in Tennessee and Kentucky right now. That's how we're going to stay through the rest of today. But as we head on into tomorrow, conditions are going to start to change up for us. So just real quick look at today. Mostly sunny skies today. We're going to get plenty of sunshine here today. Moving on into early tomorrow morning. This is 7 o'clock. I still think we're pretty much dry, but then just a couple hours later, about 9 o'clock or so in the morning tomorrow morning, some of these showers, maybe a few thunderstorms too, are going to push into our northwestern areas. That line is going to keep on spreading to the southeast. This is noon, coming in closer to Interstate 65, and then it just keeps on sliding east through the area. By 5 o'clock, it sets up around the plateau, also into parts of southern Kentucky too. And then I think we're looking a lot drier for Thursday. The only exception is we could see a few showers right there along the plateau. Friday is also looking like a pretty dry day for us as well. As far as any strong storms go, for Wednesday, during the afternoon hours, the Storm Prediction Center does have most of our viewing area in that level 1 risk. So everybody highlighted in that shade of green, we could get some of those storms that do try to produce some strong winds and some heavy rainfall going to be possible with some of those storms as well. So we'll just keep our eye out for that. 95 the high on Wednesday, 98 the high temperature today. Lower 90s on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, we're going to have our high temperatures going up to the upper 90s. Saturday, Sunday, a 30 to 40% chance for showers and storms.
Let's hear from steer clear traffic this morning. Let's go to I-24 at Shelbyville Highway. This is down in Murfreesboro. They were doing some overnight construction out here. They had one lane shut down a short time ago. Looks like they have moved on from that, so all lanes are now open there coming in from Murfreesboro. Certainly good news, because this has been a headache over the last couple of days. Let me tell you that. Here's a look at I-40 near Donaldson Pike out near the airport. Things rolling along really well out there. We're going to continue to tell you about anything that does get in your way with steer clear traffic live and local through 9. The Metro Community Review Board continues to hear from the public about oversight into the Metro Police Department and the recent whistleblower allegations that we've been following very closely. Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey live for us this morning with the very latest after they met overnight.
Good morning, Justin. So yes, we're here outside the Howard building where there was a community review board meeting last night, and that whistleblower situation was discussed a lot. And another thing discussed was the former the former community oversight chair, Arnold Hayes, was making sure that the board continues to seek public comment, because after all, well, that's what they're all about, trying to keep that public insight, because they are a public accountability group. As for the whistleblower allegations, though, a retired Metro police officer released a 61-page document with allegations of the misconduct from MNP higher-ups. Theda Murphy with the group Community Oversight Now wants the department to be federally investigated.
Because whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower comes up. People in the inside trying to do the right thing. And nothing ever comes of it. And it's the same, and they're saying the same things over and over and over and over again. I have to keep asking this, when does that stop?
So coming up when we check back in our 4:30 half hour here on Fox 17, another thing brought up last night was Metro Legal overseeing both the Community Review Board and Metro Police, and a potential conflict of interest there. We'll hear some more of the comments coming up when we check back in. Live this morning in Nashville, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Johnny. Well, we are just a few days away from the very first presidential debate of 2024, including the former President Donald Trump and the current President Joe Biden. Both will be trying to appeal to voters on a variety of issues. Fox 17 News' Christine Vazal takes a look at how the candidates are preparing.
In a Texas courtroom, one of the two men now facing murder charges, a crime authorities say they never should have been able to commit.
This victim was found bound and without clothing from the waist down.
Franklin Jose Peña Ramos, along with Johan Jose Rangel Martinez, are charged in the death of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari. Her body later found in a creek. The cause of death, strangulation. Both men reportedly migrants from Venezuela, caught by Border Patrol and released into the United States.
These monsters should never have been in our country, and if I were president, they would not have been in our country.
Former President Donald Trump weighing in, part of a strategy to keep voters' eyes focused on the issue at the southern border. His supporters blaming the Biden administration.
When Secretary Mayorkas changed the rules to his Border Patrol agents and said, hey, you don't have to detain aggravated felons as required under federal law, that's when all this started.
Over the last year, polls have shown the border is a top issue for voters, along with the economy. President Biden's campaign, meanwhile, has been laser focused on reproductive health care. This week's 2-year anniversary of the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe v. Wade, has kept it at the forefront.
Today, our daughters know fewer rights than their grandmothers. This is a healthcare crisis.
Despite it ranking somewhat lower in the polls for voters, the Biden campaign holding multiple events across the country. Also out with this new ad, focused not just on decreased access to abortion.
I was right around 11 weeks when I had a miscarriage.
But how changed state laws impact health care overall.
I was turned away from 2 emergency rooms. That was a direct result of Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade.
The Biden team warning of a country consumed by chaos, with a diminished image on the world stage should Donald Trump win a second term. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzau.
We have a travel alert for folks headed to Nashville's airport today, especially if you're dropping someone off. We're going to tell you what you need to know up next. Blackley. 4:23 is the time. There is a travel alert to be aware of if you're going to Nashville International Airport today. Now, this is how the 4 lanes are currently set up there at the airport. But later today, the departure lane right here, it's going to be closed. Not going to be there, okay? So instead, you'll need to use the decision lane right here if you want to drop someone off at the airport. That is going to be the best way to do it. They continue to work on construction out there at the airport as they continue to build new terminals, parking garages, and you name it. So just heads up out there at BNA today. Things could be a little bit different. Well, one of the lanes is being closed so they can remove the curb and expand the road. So when the work is done, there will be 2 lanes to arrivals and 2 lanes for departures and 2 lanes for the hotel and valet. The extra lane won't be added until next year. So heads up out there at the airport, a lot more work still to do.
And today's just going to be another hot one for us. We do have heat advisories in effect for a lot of the country right now. Also some excessive heat warnings. Shelby County over there in far west Tennessee is included in that. Also the Mississippi Delta. Everybody in that shade of pink, it's going to be a very hot day. Everybody in the shade of orange, it's still going to be a pretty hot day for everybody in that shade. That is the heat advisory. A few of our counties are within that heat advisory. That's going to be Henry County, Benton County, and Decatur County. Heat index values along the Tennessee River could push up to about 105 or so. So that's what it could feel like. It could feel like it's about 105 a little bit later on this afternoon. No storms expected today. I think we're all dry through the rest of the day, but as we head on into tomorrow, we do have that level 1 risk. Most of the viewing area in that shade of green, we could see a few of those storms try to produce some strong gusty winds. Also some heavy rainfall with some of those storms too. Moving on into the weekend, the humidity is going to be there. It's going to be a hot and humid weekend for us. Temperatures in the mid and upper 90s, 98 Saturday, 94 our high temperature on Sunday. There will be a chance for some showers and thunderstorms as well. I think the best rain chance for the next several days is going to come in on a Wednesday. We'll have a good chance for some showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday.
Well, take a look at this. Summer has officially begun, which means it's the perfect time to get out there and explore all that Tennessee has to offer. Over on our website, we have a list of some of the sites that you can visit if you're trying to beat some of the summer heat. At the top of the list is Fall Creek Falls. That is near Spencer. It's 256 feet, which is the longest waterfall east of the Mississippi River. Also on our list is the Twin Falls and Great Falls at Rock Island State Park. Be sure to check out some of the area's caves, which are generally around 60 degrees year around. So you can check that out. Very close to within a driving distance to downtown Nashville. Well, coming up, we've got to look at your steer clear traffic. Looks like we've got some leftovers after an overnight crash in Madison. We'll take you there. Plus, a quick look at what's trending right now on our website, fox17.com. Many people still talking about George Strait, the country music legend, and his historic ticket sales. Thousands of people packed Texas A&M and Kyle Field to watch their concert.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
5 suspects are now in custody following a police pursuit. I'm live here in East Nashville with what happened coming up in just a moment.
And today is just going to be another hot one for us, and also plenty of sunshine for us later on this afternoon too. A nice calm and quiet start right there on the camera. I'll show you what that rain chance is looking like tomorrow here in just a bit.
I-65 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is in Madison this morning. This is where crews have been working to try and clean things up after a crash overnight that involved injuries. We'll take you back to the scene and tell you about a situation that had the interstate closed. Coming up in a few minutes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just before 4:30 here on this Tuesday morning. And I'm Justin McFarland. We do want to begin with 5 men who are in custody. This is after a shooting and overnight pursuit that took place that started in Nashville but ended in Wilson County. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live from where it began in East Nashville.
That's right. Even though the scene is clear now, it all started right here at the intersection of Howerton Street and North 5th Street when a Metro detective was shot at while conducting surveillance here in the area. Now, if you take a look at your screens, you'll see 20 shell casings. This picture was given to us by Metro Police. They were found at the scene, but the detective was unharmed and no officers fired at the suspects. According to the Metro Nashville Police Department, the shooters fled in a stolen Infiniti, leading police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notified the Mount Juliet Police Department as they quickly responded, deploying a spike system as the suspects exited I-40 onto Golden Bear Gateway and Volunteer Boulevard. Now, the car was stopped and 5 suspects ran into the woods nearby, according to police. But alongside officers from other agencies, Mount Juliet officers did set up a perimeter around the woods and were able to apprehend all 5 of the suspects. All 5 of the suspects are from Nashville and are now in police custody. This is still an ongoing investigation. We'll be sure to update you as we learn more. For now, live here in Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Madeline, thank you so much. Well, we have seen several days of temperatures in the 90s, and today the heat is back on yet again. Brent Loon is here with us. How hot today, Brent?
You know, I think we're going to push into the upper 90s, so not quite record high, but a few degrees shy of the record. But anyway, you slice it, Justin. It's going to be a hot one for us. Average high temperature this time of year is about 89 and 90 degrees, and we are going to go well above that. And it's not just us. It's going to be a lot of the country. Everybody in that shade of orange, those are the heat advisories that are in effect. And those areas that are in purple, that is the excessive heat warning. That does include Memphis, so Shelby County included in that. Only our counties in the far western edge of the viewing area included in that heat advisories right here in Middle Tennessee. Heat advisories in effect for Henry, Benton, and Decatur County, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. heat index value, so what it could feel like, pushing up to about 105 along the Tennessee River. 69 here in Nashville, not too bad of a start for us, calm and quiet. That is not rain on the road. They're just doing cleanup on the road right now. Temperatures are in the 60s across Middle Tennessee and southern Kentucky for most spots. 61 McMinnville, 63 the current temperature down there in Tullahoma. Lower 70s out closer to the Tennessee River. As far as any rain goes, it is all dry. Not going to have to deal with any rain for today. Mostly sunny and dry conditions as we head through the rest of today. Lower 80s by 9, lower 90s by noon. We'll be in the mid-90s by 5 o'clock, in the upper 90s for our high temperature this afternoon. 95 the high on Wednesday. There is that 60% chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures do drop down a little bit for Thursday, down to the lower 90s.
Steer clear traffic. Let's talk about what's going on I-65 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is in the Madison area. This is where crews were working a crash overnight that had the interstate shut down completely. An overturned vehicle, we believe, that did have some injuries involved in it. But again, all lanes out there on 65 are now reopened. Everything is fine out there now. Looks like they had some crews out there just moving some barrels a short time ago. But again, all lanes are open there on the north side. Let's take you over near the airport. That's I-40 at Darlington Pike. You can see their traffic moving along pretty well. For all the people jumping off there at Nashville International Airport, if you got that flight this morning, getting to the airport is no problem. Catching your flight, you have to talk to the people in there. Making headlines this morning, dozens of protesters lined up along Charlotte Avenue, MLK Boulevard, just outside of the state capitol. It's been 2 years since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, leaving individual states like Tennessee with the rights to regulate abortion. They gathered to host a demonstration speaking out against Tennessee's almost total abortion ban. It is among the most restrictive in the nation, according to some. The procedure is only allowed to save a woman's life or protect her from severe bodily harm.
We just think it's important for everybody to be able to receive care, adequate care, appropriate care, and that's not happening with bans on abortion or birth control or IVF.
Supporter of Tennessee's law says it's about protecting unborn children. So we want to know what you think. Should abortion rights be in the hands of the state or the federal government? According to our poll here, 84% of you believe the state government should be in control of abortion rights. Another 16% say the federal government should be in control of such a thing. 737 people have voted so far. If you would like to contribute to that number, you can scan the QR code right there on the side of your screen. You can also visit us on our X page. You can find us at Fox Nashville. Well, local police are investigating a hit and run, and there's a cash reward that you could receive for information. We'll tell you more about it. Plus, we are telling you about the hot temperatures that are set to soar again across Nashville. 4:37 is the time. Live look there from Bridgestone Arena. Heads up out there, if you purchased a ticket to see Kid Cudi, the rapper, that show is canceled. He was supposed to perform coming up on July the 3rd along with Pusha T. It was part of their Engage the Rage World Tour. Well, the Rage is going to have to wait because they've canceled the ticket. They canceled the concert. So they're going to reschedule, we believe, down there at Bridgestone Arena. I was looking ahead. It's a light month at Bridgestone Arena coming up here in the month of July. So we'll tell you more things that are going to be happening, but a couple of cancellations have already taken place. Switching gears now, multiple silver alerts have been issued this morning. The TBI needs your help searching for 2 missing people. The first person right there missing from Nashville, his name is Robert Wiseman. He was last seen back on May 29th. He's about 80 years old and is 5'7" with gray hair and hazel eyes. Officials believe he may be driving a 2021 gray Chevy Trax with the license plate number BLH 409. Robert has a medical condition that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. The TBI is also searching for this man. He is Robert Hembry. He was last seen on Monday afternoon in Mascot, Tennessee. He was wearing blue jean shorts and a navy t-shirt. He's believed to be driving a red 1996 Dodge Dakota truck with a Tennessee tag of 488 BGNS. He could be in the DeKalb, Georgia area by now. If you have any information, you're asked to contact the TBI 1-800-TBI-FIND. A group of Nashville businessmen, along with the Metro Police Department, are working together to find the driver responsible for hitting the owner of the Smokin' Thighs restaurant. Happened in the parking lot of the Smokin' Thighs around 6 p.m. last Wednesday. Police say that the owner, Matthew Carney, was seriously hurt in that crash. Witnesses report seeing a 1980s to early 2000s black pickup truck. Anyone with information is asked to call police. You could receive a reward up to $10,000. Well, let's talk about steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's get to the very latest happening on I-40 at Dulles and Pike out near the airport. We're moving along really well out there. Keep in mind there are restricting some of the lanes out there at the airport today. The departure lanes are going to be a little bit different. So when you get out there, make sure to watch out for things to be a little different. I'm sure they've got signs set up. Follow the instructions. This is I-24 at Shelbyville Highway. This is out in Murfreesboro. Things moving along pretty well out there as well. They did have some overnight construction in this area, but things are rolling along fine now. We've got the very latest on anything happening with steer clear traffic live and local with you through 9. Well, summer travel has just begun and more people are hitting the skies this summer. The Transportation Security Administration says on Sunday, their workers screened nearly 3 million people at airports across the country. The agency says it was the busiest day ever for the TSA, and things are only set to get busier. If you're planning to travel, the agency says you can expect that this Friday will be extremely busy. The TSA anticipates it will screen more than 3 million people that day as well.
After the break right here on Fox 17, we're talking about last night's Community Review Board meeting here live in Nashville and what some are saying about a potential conflict of interest with Metro Legal.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feeding America for
4:43 is the time. Live look this morning at Nissan Stadium, home of the Tennessee Titans, at least for now. They're working on their brand new home back behind them. Can't see it from this angle. You can see the pink and orange sky lighting up the horizon. The Tennessee Volunteers are baseball champions. We'll tell you more about that. That orange reminded me of such a fact. That's why I brought that up now. Also, it's going to be another hot day. Brent Luna will have the details of that forecast coming up in the next few minutes. We do want to have some continuing coverage right now on the Metro Community Review Board. Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey live for us this morning after the board met last night to talk about some of the hot topics on the table.
Good morning, Justin. So one thing discussed at last night's meeting right here at the Howard Building in Nashville was that whistleblower situation, which accuses higher-ups with the Metro Police Department of some misconduct, and some are calling for investigations, other calling even for new policies with that. And another topic that was talked about was Metro Legal and this involvement where Metro Legal does represent both the Community Review Board and the Metro Police Department, and some of the public was claiming that this was a conflict of interest. Now, at a recent meeting, not last night, but about a month or so ago, at a public meeting discussing those whistleblower allegations, well, a Metro Legal attorney did warn the chair of the review board not to discuss the topic publicly for legal reasons. They proceeded to discuss anyways, though, and a member of the group Community Oversight Now says this would be good for both sides if Metro were to, the Community Review Board were to hire independent counsel.
If you have an environmental group and Exxon on the other side, and they're represented by the same attorney, it's impossible to have effective counsel. There's absolutely no third-year constitutional law course in undergraduate school in which you would find 0% of the students that would agree to that kind of effective counsel. So it's very important for both sides.
And we did reach out to the mayor's office as well as Metro Legal about, again, this claim that there is a conflict of interest. Live this morning in Nashville, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Johnny, thank you so much. Well, let's talk about the weather forecast for the day, and it is going to be another hot one out there. Brent Luna in for Greg this week, and wherever Greg is, I hope he's staying cool.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at right now, but there's a lot of the country that's pretty warm. Yeah. So anywhere you are, really, I mean, today's going to be one of those days where you just got to take it easy if you have a lot of outdoor plans. I mean, it's going to be hot here, Justin. We have heat advisories in effect for some of our viewing area, too, right there along the Tennessee River. Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties all included in that shade of orange. That is that heat advisory. That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. tonight. Heat index values along the Tennessee River could be pushing up to about 105, so that's what it could feel like a little bit later on today. Temperatures right now, now, they're only in the 60s. 64 in Murfreesboro, 69 in Nashville, 70s over in Paris, also in Camden, 57 in Clarksville. That's going to be the coolest spot on the map early this morning. As far as any rain goes, though, we are not looking at any rain anywhere close to us, really. It's all dry in Kentucky, Tennessee, all dry too. That's how we're going to stay through the rest of today. I think today should be a great day. It's just going to be a hot one. Plenty of sunshine for us today. Future Track not able to pick up on any rainfall moving in for the rest of today. This is Wednesday morning, 7 o'clock. Wednesday morning, I still think a lot of us, at least by the 7 o'clock hour, are dry tomorrow, but a couple hours later, around 9 o'clock or so, we're going to start to see some of these showers, maybe a couple of storms moving into our northwestern areas. That's going to keep on sliding down to the southeast as we head through the rest of the morning. This is noon right here, pushing in closer to Interstate 65, and then that just keeps on moving to the east, lining up around the plateau about 5 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, and then around southern Kentucky areas there as well. And then later on Wednesday night, I think we are going to start to dry out, and Thursday is looking much drier, maybe just a few showers around the plateau. And then Friday is looking pretty dry too, with plenty of sunshine. We're going to warm back up again on Friday as well. For tomorrow, right now, most of our viewing area is in that level 1 risk. So everybody highlighted in that shade of green from the Storm Prediction Center. And that's because some of those storms could produce some strong winds. I think that'll be the main thing that we see with a few of those storms. They have the capability of producing some strong wind gusts. Also some heavy rainfall going to be possible with some of those thunderstorms as well. Thursday, like we were just talking, I think we're dry throughout most of Thursday. Could see a few showers lining up along the plateau later on in the afternoon. Friday morning, we're off to a dry start, and then we keep it nearly all dry as we go through the rest of Friday. Today's going to be a hot one, though. Again, those heat advisories in effect for Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties. 98 degrees, our high temperature here around the Nashville area for this afternoon. 95 on Wednesday. There's that 60% chance for showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. Thursday, we're in the lower 90s, and then Friday, we're in the upper 90s. Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be a warm weekend, a kind of humid one, too. 98 the high on Saturday. There's that 30 to 40% chance for showers and thunderstorms this weekend.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get you to the north side of town. This is going to be I-65 at Old Hickory Boulevard. That is where they continue to just get fully recovered after an earlier crash had things shut down. We're doing a lot better now. A couple of construction barrels out there, but overall, nothing that's going to severely hold you up out there this morning coming in from Madison. Same can be said coming in from the airport. You're looking good as well. All drive times are in the green. We'll continue to follow things out there for you this morning. Let you know whatever we find with Steer Clear Traffic live and local through 9. Well, trending now, there are problems for social media giant TikTok. The Department of Justice is now looking into allegations that TikTok violated child privacy laws. Fox 17 News' Ultra Al-Nashar takes a look at the allegations.
One of the most popular social media apps is in more hot water with government regulators. The Federal Trade Commission referring a complaint to the Department of Justice against TikTok and its Chinese parent company ByteDance after it says it found reason to believe they are violating or are about to violate the law. Specifically, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which in part requires sites to obtain verifiable parental consent prior to collecting, using, or disclosing personal information from children.
They can then make their feeds even more powerful, even more addictive, and it can send children down dark rabbit holes of not only misinformation, but content that is not good for their physical and mental health.
TikTok disputes the allegations, saying, "We've been working with the FTC for more than a year to address its concerns. We're disappointed the agency is pursuing litigation instead of continuing to work with us on a reasonable solution. And we're proud of and remain deeply committed to the work we've done to protect children, and we will continue to update and improve our product." This is far from the first time the company has been called out on this issue. Last April, the UK fined TikTok the equivalent of almost $16 million after officials discovered more than 1 million kids under 13 in the UK were on TikTok and their personal data was used without parental consent.
That means that their personal data may have been used to track them and profile them, potentially delivering harmful, inappropriate content at their very next scroll.
TikTok disagreed with their findings. Months later, Ireland did the same, and now the European Commission is looking into possible violations in France and Spain.
TikTok is by no means the only social media platform scrutinized for its child privacy practices, and in Congress, a growing number of lawmakers support changing the current liability protections for social media companies so that users or users' parents can sue them for the harms committed on their platforms. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atra Al-Nashar.
Well, flight attendants could soon go on strike as soon as August, as contract talks between American Airlines are stalling. The Association of Professional Flight Attendants say they are one step closer to a strike with American Airlines. Talk late last week failed to reach an agreement, and the union says a year of mediated talks has yet to secure more money. Flight attendants are not able to strike until a 30-day cooling off period ordered by the National Mediation Board has passed. Well, celebrating a big win, we're talking about the Tennessee Volunteers. You're taking a look at the Rock there in Knoxville, talking about the world champions, or national champions in this case, the Tennessee Volunteers, who got it done in Omaha after a huge win over Texas A&M. We've got more reaction from the champs coming up. Fox 17 News, your only live and local news source, with you from 7 until 9. We've got the very latest. 4:55 is the time. A live look there at Bridgestone Arena, home of the Nashville Predators. They'll be back on the ice before you know it. Light month there at Bridgestone Arena overall. Not a lot of concerts. They've had a couple of cancellations, so it's not going to be the big month that we normally see down there. We're also going to be watching, of course, for the beer trucks to arrive to refuel after a hot day. Brett Luna will have a look at how hot things are going to get coming up in the next few minutes. One place I think you can find down there in downtown Nashville is a place where you can get a good piece of catfish. Because today, listen up, Brent, is National Catfish Day, okay? The freshwater fish are named catfish because of their prominent barbels there, which resemble cat whiskers. So did you know that these nocturnal swimmers have no scales? Many catfish lovers also enjoy coating the catfish in cornmeal and then frying it up. Catfish is an excellent source of vitamin D, so you can feel good about eating that catfish as well. You can celebrate by posting pictures of your favorite catfish meal or just catfish catch on social media with the hashtag National Catfish Day. It's a long hashtag, but National Catfish Day. Let's get over to Brent Luna right now. He's from West Tennessee, where they are no strangers to catfish.
Man, I love catfish, especially when you go catch it too, and then you fry it up just a few hours later. That's about as good as it gets. Love me some fried catfish. Today is going to be a hot one, though. If you are outside doing any sort of outdoor activities, it is going to be a hot one for you. West Tennessee is included in that heat advisory. That's going to be everybody in that shade of orange. The Memphis area is included in that excessive heat warning, along with a lot of the Mississippi Delta. So very, very hot over there. Here in Middle Tennessee, it's going to be hot, but just not quite that hot. Henry, Benton, and Decatur County are under a heat advisory from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and heat index value, so what it could feel like is going to go up to about 105. No storms for today. This map is for tomorrow. For Wednesday, nearly everybody in that level 1 risk, and that's really just for the chance that a couple of those thunderstorms could get a little bit strong and try to produce some strong gusty winds. Overall, they're not looking at any sort of widespread severe weather event for us for tomorrow. This weekend, it's going to be a little bit on the hot and humid side, and that's just going to be the trend as we head through the next several days. The coolest day that we see, that's probably going to come in on Thursday, high temperature around 91.
Steer clear traffic out there for you. Let's take a quick look here at I-65 at Trinity Lane. That's on the north side of downtown. As you can see there, traffic moving along without problems. We're doing okay. We had some overnight issues. One at 65 at Old Hickory Boulevard in Madison that had the interstate shut down for a short time because of a crash with injuries. That is cleared. And we had another situation down in Coffee County at I-24, very close to the Manchester area. That crash has also cleared. So no more big problems right now on the interstate. We'll continue to watch things for you, let you know when things can and will change. Coming up right here on Fox 17 News this morning. Well, looking ahead to Thursday, a big event celebrating the history of the 101st Airborne at Fort Campbell. Now, the community leaders will be on post for a groundbreaking for the Wings of Liberty Museum. That sounds inspiring. Wings of Liberty Museum. When it's finished, it will be the second largest Army museum in the nation. It will focus in on the historical impact of Fort Campbell soldiers and provide unique opportunities for Americans to learn more about U.S. history through the eyes of Fort Campbell-based soldiers. Now, the $40 million project is expected to open to the public coming up late next year. So late next year, about 15 months from now is what they're expecting, and I can't wait to see it. That should be interesting. Well, check this out. A Florida family is now suing NASA after a piece of space junk crashed into their home back in March. Now, the homeowner is showing off a metal object that he say caused some damage to his house, saying that he's just grateful no one was hurt. NASA previously confirmed that the object was from hardware from the International Space Station. Look at the hole there it caused. It should have burned up on re-entry. Well, it didn't. Instead, it made its way into this man's home in Naples. The lawsuit claims that the home was damaged and the family endured emotional and mental distress. The family $1,000. Their attorney says the case could open the doors for other damage claims from outer space junk that comes crashing into the planet. So again, that piece right there from the ISS into a man's home in Naples. Now he wants 80 grand for everything he went through.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Bringing home the hardware. I debated whether to sing good old Rocky Top here off the top of the show. I'll hold off for now, but I know a lot of folks are waking up this morning with Rocky Top on their mind. How Tennessee baseball holds off the Aggies to win their first national title.
And it's sure going to be a hot and humid one for us for today, too. A few of our counties are under that heat advisory. I'll show you which counties. Also talk about that rain chance that we have coming up tomorrow here in just a bit.
And Fox 17 News working to save you some commute time this Tuesday. We'll have your steer clear traffic updates throughout 9 a.m. We do want to start, though, by saying thank you for waking up with Fox 17 News on a Tuesday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. That sunrise is looking great, isn't it?
It's a Rocky Top sunrise, if you ask me.
It does look like it. Congratulations to the Vols on that big win last night. We'll get to those highlights in just a minute. But first, we do begin with breaking news this morning out of East Nashville.
We do understand 5 people are now in custody after Metro Police say they shot at an officer. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live with the latest update. Hi there, Madeline.
That's right. Good morning. And this is actually where it happened. The scene has since cleared, but it happened right here around 11 p.m. last night at Howerton Street at North 5th Street when a Metro Police detective was shot at while conducting surveillance here in the area. Now, if you take a look at your screen, you'll see 20 shell casings. They were found at the scene, but detectives were unharmed and no officers fired at the suspects. Now, according to Metro Nashville Police, the shooters fled in a stolen Infiniti, leading police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notified the Mount Juliet Police Department, and they quickly responded, deploying a spike system at the suspects exited as they exited I-40 onto Golden Bear Gateway and Volunteer Boulevard. Now, this car was stopped, and 5 suspects ran into the woods nearby, according to the police. Alongside officers from other agencies, Mount Juliet officers were able to set up a perimeter around those woods and apprehend all 5 of the suspects. Now, all of the suspects are from Nashville, and they are now in Metro Police custody. Now, this is still an ongoing investigation, and as we learn more information, we'll be sure to all update you as we get that information. For now, live here in Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. We're also kicking off this Tuesday morning by sharing the top 3 headlines that you're going to want to know before heading out the door. Federal judges ruling to temporarily block parts of President Biden's student debt relief plan. The rulings from judges in Kansas and Missouri block most of the loan repayment plan. The rulings, though, also prevent the Department of Education from easing loan repayment burdens, which was set to begin this coming Monday. Both rulings, though, are preliminary and set in place until the end of the separate trials.
I'd like to know, too, from some of the experts what they would do about loans that have already been forgiven.
Yes, big question.
We're already in question anyway. So we'll follow that story for you. Plus, more breaking news this morning. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange reaching a plea deal. According to court documents, Assange agreed to plead guilty to 1 felony count as part of a deal that will get him his freedom. He's been in prison in the UK. The U.S. indicted Assange on 18 counts related to WikiLeaks release of confidential U.S. military records.
And let's talk about hockey. The Florida Panthers took home their first Stanley Cup in franchise history last night with a win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Florida led the title series 3-0 before losing the next 3 games. The Panthers, though, they pulled it out with a 2-1 win last night. I used to go to these games in South Florida when the stadium was empty.
Right.
You could give the tickets away.
And now all of a sudden,
it's a huge win for South Florida.
Here we are. And you know what? Hats off to the Edmonton Oilers, too. I mean,
they gave it a go.
What a season they had coming back from being down 3 games. That was huge. All right. More headlines now in the weather department. Let's send it over to our Code Red meteorologist, Brett Luna.
And today's just going to be a hot one, really, for a lot of the country, not just us. A lot of the country under these heat advisories. That's going to be everybody in that shade of orange, the shade of purple right there around the Mississippi River. That is the excessive heat warning that is in effect for all of those areas. So very hot the closer you get to the Mississippi River. Here in Middle Tennessee, it's going to be warm, just not quite that warm. We do have Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties under that heat advisory. That's from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. tonight. Heat index value, so what it could feel like around the Tennessee River could be pushing around 105. So warm over there, warm for all of us, but just a little bit warmer further west. 69 degrees right here in Nashville. That's where we start things out this morning. 5:05 the current time. Current temperatures, they're in the low to upper 60s for most locations. We do have a few lower 70s. 70 in Paris, 71 in Camden, 57. That's going to be the coolest spot that we have right now over there in Clarksville. As we go through the rest of the day, we're going to stay dry, plenty of sunshine. High temperature at 98 this afternoon, 95 on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we'll have highs in the lower 90s. Warm back up again as we head into the weekend.
Brett, thank you. Steer clear traffic time right now at 5:05 and looking pretty good to start the morning. A couple of early crashes have now cleared up. This is I-24 at Harding Place, looking good. We'll keep an eye on steer clear traffic and let you know how things develop. Every few minutes, we tap in to our live T-Dot camera network every few minutes all morning long just to let you know what's going on, and we'll continue to do that for you here live through 9 a.m.
Let's talk about sports, though. A big night for the Big Orange. UT winning its first ever College World Series championship. Yes, this game was one for the history books. It was not easy. We know that. It took all 3 games of the College World Series to finally do it. But Jen, let's take a look at the highlights.
All right, let's do it here. We go to Tennessee's offense. Took a little while to get things going in the first 2 games of the series, but Christian Moore with a leadoff home run to left field to start the game. It's 1-0. 2 innings later, Vols add some insurance, you could say here. We had a runner on for the Vols, and Dylan Dreiling comes up clutch with that home run shot. Jumping ahead to later in the game, Aaron Combs would come through with the final 3 outs. And you can see the catcher there coming in to the mound there, and it's the dog pile here to take it all. Another huge play from the night, in case you missed it, was the slide at home.
Yes.
Hunter Ensley coming in there. So a big night for the Vol Nation. Even Vandy fans tipping the hats this morning say, all right, great season. The Aggies defeated. And listen, it was 6-1 going into the 8th and 9th. And then the Aggies came back and made it 6-5. So it was certainly a nail biter to the end.
Yeah, they also became the first #1 seed to win it all since 1999, which I believe was Miami back then.
Good stuff. Congratulations to the Vols. More news headlines here this morning. 2 people behind bars after a man is found dead along train tracks. We have an update this morning from Robertson County and the Sheriff's Office there.
And dozens. 5:10 is the time, and right now in Operation Crime and Justice, we know 1 man is dead, and the Chattanooga Police Department, they're still piecing together a very scary situation that took place at an office building right near the Hamilton Place Mall. Well, around 2 p.m. Monday afternoon, officers began receiving calls from shoppers about a man walking around with a gun. Witnesses say he made it clear that he had bad intentions and wanted to do some harm. Well, it caused multiple businesses to go ahead, get on lockdown. Officers say the gunman, though, ended up shooting and killing himself, and no one else got hurt. This situation, though, is still under investigation.
This morning, the Robertson County Sheriff's Office has arrested 2 people who they say are connected to the death of a man whose body was found along train tracks right near the Montgomery County border. Officials say the woman and the young man you see here on your screen are a mother and son. They're accused of shooting and killing Carlos Camaha at a home in Springfield. Investigators say they took his body and dumped it along the train tracks. The mother is believed to have been the victim's girlfriend at the time of the shooting. Still working to get more information about a motive. Now to crisis in the classroom. Fox 17 News getting a look at 2 new reports showing alarming information about education in Tennessee. The latest TCAP results show that only 46% of our 4th graders are proficient in reading, and that is just a 2% increase from last year.
One of the reports we looked at ranks Tennessee number 32 in the country for education. The new report shows that students are struggling in all 4 categories, including English, math, science, and social studies. Education leaders say, yes, this is alarming.
But the key thing is the tutoring and the summer school. Those are going to have to be ongoing until we really have propelled ourselves up a little bit higher.
Well, J.C. Bowman, who you just heard from there, says that we have been modifying reading. He also emphasizes at the same point, we've got to hold people accountable at the very highest levels.
By the way, Crisis in the Classroom is a series of stories that you'll only see here on Fox 17 News. It's our commitment to exposing problems, but also to finding solutions for issues in our schools. If you have a story you think we should look into, you can email us news@fox17.com or call the tip line 615-266-4149.
And it's just going to be a hot one for us today. I'll let you know how hot we get and also talk a little bit about that rain chance that we have coming up for tomorrow here in just a bit.
Hey, in Fox 17 News, checking out Antioch I-24 at Harding Place. We are giving you the green light. This spot looks good. More steer clear traffic updates to come though.
I'm really frustrated. Maintaining my rope over it.
Continuing coverage on the story of a Nashville man battling with repeated flooding in front of his house. We'll also see what Metro Water Review Board continues to hear from the public regarding Metro Police and recent whistleblower allegations that we've been following closely.
Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey is live in Nashville for us this Tuesday morning with another update.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So the Community Review Board met last night. It was a public meeting right here at the Howard Building, and it was actually more than 2.5 hours. And yes, the whistleblower allegations were brought up a lot. And another thing that was brought up from actually one of the former chairs, Arnold Hayes, he spoke during the public comment period about making sure that the review board continues to hear public comments, get that public insight, because after all, they are a public accountability group. And as for the whistleblower allegations, well, a retired MNPD officer released a 61-page document with allegations of misconduct from Metro Police higher-ups. Theda Murphy with the group Community Oversight Now wants the department to be federally investigated.
Because whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower comes up. People in the inside trying to do the right thing. And nothing ever comes of it. And it's the same, and they're saying the same things over and over and over and over again. When does, I have to keep asking this, when does that stop?
Now Murphy making her point there that she wants to put a stop to what she calls a cycle of things that keep happening. Now coming up when we check back in at our 5:30 half hour here on Fox 17, we're going to talk about why some people want the Community Review Board to have independent counsel. Live this morning in Nashville, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Johnny, thank you. Appreciate that. By the way, just a quick reminder here for you. If you would like this morning's headlines emailed to you, perhaps you're the kind of person that you wake up, you check your email, you want the headlines right there, we can help you out. Sign up for our daily newsletter. Just head to fox17.com, enter your information, and we'll get you squared away.
Well, maybe you're the kind of person that wakes up and you say, how hot is it going to be today? We got your forecast.
Yes, you do.
That is true. It's going to be a hot one for us today, too.
Another one. Shocking.
All right, listen. Okay, let's have a little fun here for a second. How hot is it? What's your favorite Southern saying? about how hot it is?
Mine's not appropriate for.
Okay, all right, okay. How about you, Brett?
I don't know off the top
It's
of my
so
head.
hot you could fill in the blank, or it's hotter than.
Clearly, you have one that's
Fill
on
in
your
the
mind.
blank.
So
It
share
would just be all get out. I don't know.
Hotter than all get out?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not like-
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite one is though. I've never thought.
Go ahead,
about
Jen.
that.
We're gonna ask on Facebook.
Okay.
I have a couple also that are not suitable for TV, but hotter than all get out. We've said that around our house. It's so hot you could, fry an egg on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Kind of a hot.
That's a good question to ask, though.
All right, we're
on
gonna do
social
it.
media.
I'm doing it now. I'm going to Facebook.
Hey, I'm excited to see those answers. But
Sound
yeah,
off.
any way you slice it, it's going to be hot today. We do have heat advisories in effect for a part of the viewing area. Over there in Henry, Benton, and Decatur County, all those areas that are highlighted in orange, they're under that heat advisory. Heat index value, so what it could feel like, that's going to be close to 105 right there around the Tennessee River. Temperatures right now, we're in the lower 60s to upper 60s most locations. Crossville coming in cooler though, 57 over there. We have lower 70s in Paris and in Camden right now. Nashville, we are in the upper 60s. That's not going to stay like that for long though. We're going to warm up quite a bit later on today. No rainforest right now on the radar, and that's going to stay the case through the rest of today too. Plenty of sunshine across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Today shaping up to be a really, really nice day if you like the heat, but otherwise it's going to be warm. No rainforest for today. As we head on into Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning by about 9 o'clock, I think showers and maybe a few thunderstorms start to move into our northwestern areas. That keeps on sliding down to the southeast throughout the rest of the afternoon. By 5 o'clock, it's going to push around the plateau, also into our counties in Southern Kentucky, and then I think it's going to start to clear on out, and I think Thursday and Friday are looking drier. As far as any sort of strong storm activity goes for tomorrow, we could see a few of those. Storm Prediction Center does have most of us included in that level 1 risk. Everybody in that shade of green right there, we could see a few of those storms try to produce some strong gusting winds. Also some heavy rainfall going to be possible with some of those storms too. 95 our high temperature on Wednesday. We're at 98 for the high today. Today's going to be a hot one. Thursday we cool down a little bit, back close to normal. 91 our high on Thursday. Upper 90s for us on Friday and Saturday. 97 on Friday, 98 on Saturday. And then as we head on into this upcoming weekend, we do have that 30 to 40% chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Zero clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to I-40 at White Bridge Road. This is over in West Nashville where the trucks are taking a bit of a break there. You can see it towards the top half side of the screen there. This is a common scene that we look at each and every morning right up there at the top of the screen there in West Nashville. Wide road here. You can see some of the oil spots where trucks of previous times have stopped off for a little bit of a break. But if I'm showing you this, that means our traffic is extremely calm out there across the mid-state here for the most part. This morning we had a couple of really bad accidents that happened earlier this morning, one in Madison, the other one down in Coffee County. Both of those have gotten out of the way, so we'll continue to follow things. Right now though, we're doing really nicely.
Justin, thank you. Let's get back to weather, because while so many of us are feeling, yes, the impacts of summer heat waves, other parts of the country are facing a very different challenge.
Yeah, let's take a look here. In South Dakota, at least one person has died, and the floodwaters there have caused a bridge collapse. Several homes along this river with a lot of damage during record flooding. Right now, no word yet on the cost connected to all this damage, but man, those are homes that have just been washed away. Wow. Look at that bridge that collapsed there. It could be months before we get a full update on the extent of this damage.
And meanwhile, closer to home, there is a Davidson County man who says his problems with constant flooding at his home are being ignored.
John Cripps telling Fox 17 News that he's lost hope that they're ever going to fix the problem, and he just wants answers from Metro Water Services.
Well, he has lived at his home in Ashland City for nearly 5 decades. In the last 10 years, he says his house has been flooded repeatedly. It's caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to his property. Metro Services says that they would send someone over, but he says that has not happened yet.
They're not paying any attention to me at all. They don't want to deal with me or my problem.
Metro Water Services telling Fox 17 News after we reached out that they would take a look at the problem perhaps this week or next week. Mr. Cripps says they haven't reached out to him yet. We will continue to follow up on this story.
Clarksville city leaders want to give firefighters and police officers more money to stay with the department. They are the latest city fighting to hold on to their first responders.
Our Justin McFarland will tell you more about that story here in minutes. Plus, busy over at Nashville International Airport. We have a travel alert if you are headed to the airport today, especially if you're dropping somebody off.
They're all trying to solve the exact same problem. They want to hold on to their law enforcement, their first responders, their firefighters. They're in high demand across the mid-state, and what's happening is many of them are starting their training in one place. Then once they finish that training and they're certified, they leave for the highest bidder no matter where they are across the state. It's something they're trying to stop in cities like Clarksville.
I want to see the longevity build for our employees here, because I think our citizens would much rather have people that have been on the job for a while continue to, serve them with, any type of emergency situation. And these are great employees. I want us to retain them and keep them here instead of us getting them prepared to go work in other fire departments and other police stations.
Now, some cities are going to things like making their trainees sign contracts to make sure that they stay there for a number of years, even after their training is done. Other cities are continuing to try to up the pay to entice their first responders to stay. We're going to hear from some other city leaders there in Clarksville coming up a little bit later in the morning.
And it's going to be a hot day for us today. We do have heat advisories that are in effect for part of our viewing area, but really a lot of the country seeing those heat advisories, even some excessive heat warnings right here along the Mississippi River too. That's going to be for everybody in that shade of purple. Henry, Benton, and Decatur County right here in our viewing area, the far western edge of our viewing area close to the Tennessee River, are included within that heat advisory. I think for those spots, heat index values, what it could feel like, could be pushing up to about 105 or so. That advisory is going to be in effect from 11 a.m. this morning until 8 p.m. later on this evening. This is not for today right here. This is the severe weather outlook map for tomorrow. We're all dry today, but for tomorrow, we could have a few storms that try to get a little bit on the strong side. Not expecting any widespread severe weather event for us for tomorrow, but a few of those thunderstorms could try to produce some strong gusty winds. Also, some heavy rainfall going to be possible with some of those storms as well. I think the best chance for that thunderstorm activity is going to be in the afternoon of tomorrow.
Thank you, Brent. Well, there is a travel alert that you need to be aware of if you're going near Nashville International Airport today. The departure lane will be closed, so if you need to drop someone off, you need to use the decision lane. That's right here in the yellow. That is the lane that's going to be ready to go. The departure lane right here is shut off here to get to the terminal. Now, why are they doing all of this? Well, one of the lanes is being closed so they can remove a curb and expand the road. When this is all done, it's going to be much better. They say it's going to be 2 lanes for arrivals, 2 lanes to departures, and 2 lanes for the hotel and valet. The extra lanes, though, will not be added until next year, so there's still a lot of work to do. Let's talk about steer clear traffic this morning. That's 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. We've got your very latest drive times coming up.
5 suspects now in custody following an overnight police pursuit. I'm live where it all began with more coming up.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, 5 people arrested overnight after Metro Police say they shot at an officer's squad car. We're going to have the very latest details.
Plus, we have a group of business owners ponying up $10,000 with the hopes of getting justice for a restaurant owner injured in a hit and run.
And it's going to be another hot one for us to start it out. No rain right there on that camera. We'll stay dry today, too, but we are going to be talking about a rain chance as we head on into tomorrow. I'll let you know when that rain arrives tomorrow, coming up in just a bit.
All right. Thank you, Brett. And thank y'all for joining us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be here. Let's get straight to breaking news for you to kick off your Tuesday morning. We have 5 men in custody right now following a shooting and an overnight police chase into another county.
A lot of details here. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live from where all of this began in East Nashville. Good morning, Madeline.
Good morning. That's exactly right. The scene is now clear, but this all began right here on Howerton Street at North 6th Street around 11 p.m. when a Metro detective was shot at while conducting surveillance in the area. Around 20 shell casings were found at the scene, but the detective was unharmed and no officers fired at the suspects. According to the Metro Nashville Police Department, the shooters fled in a stolen Infiniti, leading police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notified the Mount Juliet Police Department, and they quickly responded, deploying a spike system as the suspects exited I-40 onto Golden Bear Gateway and Volunteer Boulevard. Now, the car was stopped and 5 suspects ran into the woods nearby, according to police, but alongside officers from other agencies. Mount Juliet officers were able to set up a perimeter around those woods and apprehend all 5 of the suspects. The suspects, all from Nashville, are now in Metro Police custody. This is still an ongoing investigation, but as we learn more, we'll be sure to update you all. For now, live here in Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. 5:32 is the time, and right now we're going to show you a live look over at the Rock at University of Tennessee in Knoxville, where clearly they have a lot to be proud of, and they're repainting, showing off, some of their College World Series fan base.
Quick work. They made quick work of that overnight there on the campus of UT. We had fans on campus last night watching the game.
Yeah.
Really exciting, of course. So many celebrities in attendance last night. Peyton Manning was there.
Morgan Wallen.
Josh Heupel. I saw somebody say it was like the royalty of UT in Omaha last night.
There's going to be a parade today.
There is. That's
at 6:30.
Right.
Do I have enough time to drive over to UT Knoxville?
Absolutely.
Can I be a little bit late tomorrow morning?
Sure. I'll give you a pass.
Okay.
All right, it's going to go down Gay Street. Why don't you just stay there and we'll do live reports?
I mean, honestly, this is my time to shine.
I think you go tonight, go set up, and then we'll just do live hits tomorrow morning.
All right, I'm going to text our executive producer.
Let's see what we can make happen. In the meantime, let's send it over to Brett, see how the weather's shaping up.
Well, it's just going to be another hot one for us today, and that's going to be the story for us as we go through most of this week. There is one day, though, that is finally looking a little bit cooler. Temperatures drop back down closer to normal, but it's still going to be pretty warm then, too. A lot of the country experiencing this high heat. All these boxes of orange, those are counties that are included in a heat advisory, and then right there along the Mississippi River in that shade of purple, that is the excessive heat warning in effect for those areas. So very, very hot today in that excessive heat warning. Back here in our viewing area, we do have a few of our counties that are included in that heat advisory. That's just going to be for the far western areas. So Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties included in that heat advisory. 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. the runtime on that. It could feel like it is about 105 in those areas. We're starting it out at 69 degrees here in Nashville. Low to upper 60s for most of us. 57 in Clarksville coming in as one of the cooler spots on the map early this morning. Not seeing any rain on the radar, and that's how we're going to stay through the rest of today too. All dry. We do bring in a better chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, though. Some of those could produce some gusty winds and some heavy rainfall at times. A 60% chance for storms then.
Steer clear traffic at 5:34. Let's take a quick look outside here and tell you what we're dealing with. 65 at Dickerson Pike on the north side. Looking really nice out there. No big problems in either direction. Exactly what you want to see for this time of the morning. Your drive times are the same. Everybody in the green so far, from Mount Juliet to Murfreesboro to Franklin. We are all good right now. Things can change, and they can change quickly. We got you covered. Steer clear traffic live through 9.
Justin, thank you. We have a group of Nashville business owners and Metro Police who are working together right now to find the driver responsible for seriously injuring the owner of Smokin' Thighs restaurant and then driving away.
Those business owners are now offering a $10,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Now, this hit and run happened in the parking lot of Smokin' Thighs, which is located on Wedgwood Houston Avenue around 6 p.m. It happened last Wednesday. The owner, Matthew Carney, was critically injured in this crash and has still not regained consciousness.
My goodness. Witnesses reported seeing a 1980s, maybe 90s black pickup truck hit Mr. Carney, the owner of Smokin' Thighs, and then drive off. Now, in addition to that $10,000 we mentioned, Crime Stoppers is offering a reward as well. So if you have any information about a black pickup truck that hit a man last Wednesday around 6 p.m. on Wedgwood Avenue, please call Crime Stoppers. We've got that number at the bottom of your screen, 615-742-7463. I'm thinking, Erica, 6 o'clock on a Wednesday, there would have been a lot of traffic.
A lot of witnesses.
Yes, so
potentially.
Please call if you've got information.
Well, coming up, Fort Campbell is taking the first steps on constructing a sprawling museum celebrating the 101st Airborne Division, when it's planned, though, to open.
And later this hour, Nashville's Community Review Board is facing several issues, from Metro Police whistleblowers to how to handle legal cases. We'll dive a little bit deeper.
Started.
Yes, and there's a lot of history. You think about it. Community leaders are going to be on post for the groundbreaking for the Wings of Liberty Museum. When this thing is finished, it'll be the second biggest Army museum in the nation. And what we're looking at here are renderings of what you will see inside. They say it's going to focus on the historical impact of the Fort Campbell soldiers and provide what they call a unique opportunity for all of us to learn about U.S. history through the eyes of those soldiers based at Fort Campbell.
Yeah, the $40 million project is expected to open to the public late next year, so we have a whole lot of time before we can get on over there, but we're certainly going to check that out once it does open. Let's check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. Good morning, Brett. Happy Tuesday to you.
Yeah, good morning to you, Erica. Good morning, Jen. Overall, we're talking heat for the next several days. There is one day, though, where the temperature isn't quite as bad as the rest. Today is going to be one of those hot days for us, though. Temperatures pushing to the upper 90s. Some areas, it's going to feel like it's about 105. I think the best area for that to happen is Henry, Benton, and Decatur County, where they do have that heat advisory in place for heat advisory in effect for everybody in orange from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. heat index values. So what it could feel like could be pushing up to about 105 a little bit later on this afternoon. So it is going to be a warm one for us. Current temperatures there in the low to upper 60s for most locations. 57 in Crossville, 61s in Cookeville, McMinnville, Tullahoma, 69 right here in Nashville. It's 68 degrees this morning up there in Clarksville. Not seeing any rain on the radar right now. All dry across Tennessee and Kentucky. If you have any plans later on this afternoon, shaping up to still be a really good one for you. Just hot. Noon, we're in the lower 90s. 2 o'clock, we'll be in the mid-90s. And then by 4, we should be in the upper 90s. Mostly sunny and dry as we go through the day.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get you out to I-40 here at Donaldson Pike, very close to the airport. Traffic out there moving along really nicely. No big problems in either direction. Keep in mind, they will be doing some lane closures out there at the airport. We've been telling you that throughout the morning here. So the departure lane is going to be shut down there at Nashville International today. It's a good day to do it. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, typically the lighter days there. So follow the instructions they've got put in place, and you can make your drop off or pick up successfully there at B&A. We're going to check in some other areas of town coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you.
After the break here on Fox 17, we're live in Nashville talking about last night's Community Oversight Board meeting and why some people are saying that they need independent counsel.
And we're tracking the continuing impact of deadly flooding in the Midwest, which could move.
Metro Community Review Board. This is the committee set up to essentially police the police, and there is new controversy brewing.
Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey is joining us live after the board met just last night. So, Johnny, what were some of the hot topics? I know you've been taking a deeper look at this.
Yeah, that's right, Jen and Erica. So the whistleblower allegations were a big topic of last night's meeting that lasted over 2.5 hours right here at the Howard Building in Nashville. And so regarding those allegations against MNPD higher-ups and the accusations of misconduct, well, people are calling for investigations, also even new policies. And another thing that was brought up regarding all of this is Metro Legal representing both the Community Review Board and the Metro Police Department, and they're saying that, and some are even claiming there's a conflict of interest and the Community Review Board should hire independent counsel. Now, at a previous public meeting discussing the whistleblower allegations, a Metro legal attorney did warn the chair of the review board not to discuss the topic publicly for legal reasons, but then it did carry on as a public discussion, and a member of the group Community Oversight Now says this would be good for both sides.
If you have an environmental group and Exxon on the other side, and they're represented by the same attorney, it's impossible to have effective counsel. There's absolutely no third-year constitutional law course in undergraduate school in which you would find that 0% of the students that would agree to that kind of effective counsel. So it's very important for both sides.
And we did reach out to both Metro Legal and the mayor's office regarding this claim of the conflict of interest. Live this morning in Nashville, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Johnny, thank you. Major flooding is impacting parts of the Midwest, and at least 2 people are now dead. The conditions, though, have prompted evacuations and water rescues in states like Iowa, South Dakota, and also Minnesota.
All right, so let's get you updated here this morning, taking a look at some of the conditions here. Very concerning. This is the dam in Minnesota right now that is reportedly in danger of a full breach. And you can see it's already partially collapsed here in this video. What an incredible vantage point here in this aerial video. This is the Rapidan Dam, which is along the Blue Earth River near Mankato, Minnesota. The Blue Earth County Sheriff's Department there says this dam is in imminent failure condition. They say because of all the debris, and look, you can see it stacked up, logged up there, and also other unstable conditions within the dam infrastructure. Minnesota's governor says they are working right now to protect everybody downstream. Think about all the communities that would be at risk of total flooding.
We'll have to get out there very quickly.
Look at how look at how that road just gave way. My goodness. All right, we'll follow this story for you and keep you posted with live updates through 9.
Well, right now, though, we're checking in with our Code Red meteorologist to get your Tuesday forecast before heading out the door.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a very calm day for us. We don't really have anything to worry about except for the heat. It's going to be a hot one, and that's about all we have today.
Well, we have some feedback. We asked the question.
Oh, you got some answers?
Yeah, we've got some. Okay, so what is we were asking, what's your favorite saying about the heat? Like, it's so hot, blank, or it's hotter than blank. Okay, hold on. Let me pull one up and see. Make sure it's clean. Okay, that's not clean. Not suitable for air. Anyways, hotter than the blue blazes.
Okay, we can take that.
Hotter than Hades.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a couple. You said it's hotter than all get out.
That's just what I've always heard.
Me too. I don't really know what that means. What does it mean, all get out?
Well, we got to get out. It's so hot. We got to get out.
Or stay in? I don't know.
Well, hopefully more will come in and we can see what other people are saying too as the show goes on. But that's just going to be the story for us. It's just going to be a hot one today. Heat advisories are in effect for our far western areas. Henry, Benton, and Decatur County included in that heat advisory. That's going to go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. tonight. It could feel like it's about 105 in those areas. Temperatures right now, they're in the 60s for most spots. We're at 69 degrees right here in Nashville. Some areas are in the lower 70s out a little bit further to the west. As far as any rain goes, not seeing any of that. It is all dry across Middle Tennessee and southern Kentucky. It's going to stay dry as we go through the rest of the day, but as we head on into tomorrow, we are going to start to see a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. That should arrive to our northwestern areas by about 9 o'clock. Some of those could produce some strong gusty winds and heavy rainfall.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's get you to I-40 near Spence Lane. This is going to be just east of downtown. Sun glare, heads up. Get those sunglasses out, that visor in the car, make sure it's up and going, because if you're traveling east at all, make sure that this is going to be a part of your drive. And really, and I wish I had the cameras to express it to you, but the worst problem that you see that I've seen out there during my times on the roads, which is a lot, especially this time of the morning, is that drive coming down from Jolton, from Whites Creek on I-24. When the sun is at a certain angle, you're driving into the city towards Nashville. When it peaks up between those trees and those valleys there, it can be very, very intense at times, blinding even at times. So please be mindful about that coming down from Pleasant View, from Whites Creek, from Jolton. It can be extremely rough. This is a good example here, 40 at Spence Lane, though, on the east side. No major traffic times to tell you about right now. Things will continue on this morning. We got you covered.
Justin, thank you very much. At 5:50 right now, making headlines yesterday in Nashville, protesters lining up on Charlotte Avenue just outside of our state capitol.
They were marking the 2 years it has been since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, leaving individual states like Tennessee to regulate abortion. They demonstrated against Tennessee's almost total abortion ban. It's among the most restrictive in the nation. The procedure is only allowed here to save a woman's life or protect her from severe bodily harm.
Well, we just think it's important for everybody to be able to receive care, adequate care, appropriate care, and that's not happening with bans on abortion or birth control or IVF.
Right, but on the other side of that, supporters of Tennessee's law say that it's about protecting unborn children. There are some reports that claim Tennessee is one of 2 states right now where births are up since Roe was reversed. It's 5:51 right now, and we were asking what you think about this topic in general over on our Fox Nashville Twitter account.
Right now, we ask this question: should abortion rights be in the hands of state government or federal government? 84.1% of you all say state government. You can still sound off by scanning the QR code or heading to any of our Fox 17 News social media platforms.
In our economy right now, Federal Reserve officials are weighing how much capital big banks have to hold in reserve to weather a financial shock.
There's a new report suggesting that they might go easy on the industry. All right, Bloomberg reporting that the Fed is indicating a 5% increase as compared to the original version, which was calling for more than 16% hike. Wow, so some Fed governors worry being too tough would raise lending costs, but supporters say the original level would fix issues exposed by the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank last year.
Want to hear the roar of the engines at Nashville Super Speedway? It'll be a big race weekend, the 3 days that you can take it all in.
Always something going on.
Yeah.
And music industry group suing 2 companies that use artificial intelligence to create music. Why the group says that's taking advantage of their artists.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feeding America for our Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Campaign. You can donate by simply scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
On your College World Series win.
Cue the music.
What a night. That's about all we can legally do or say without getting in trouble for music rights and whatnot. But congratulations, sun's up here on this Tuesday morning. Gorgeous start to the day, but boy, it is going to be an absolute scorcher. Brett will join us in just a few minutes to tell us how hot it's going to get, and we're going to track rain and maybe some storms moving in tomorrow.
From baseball to the Super Speedway, looking ahead to Friday when 3 days of Nashville Super Speedway races begin. On Friday, NASCAR Truck Series comes to the Super Speedway. Take a look here at your screen with the Rackley Roofing 200. That race is at 7 p.m.
All right, Saturday we've got the Tennessee Lottery 250. That's part of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That's going to get rolling at 4. And then the main event Sunday is NASCAR's Cup Series, the Ally 400. Green flag is going to wave at 2:30 that afternoon.
All right, I have one. Is my mic on?
Yeah.
I have it's hotter than.
All right, what you got?
It's hotter than a jalapenos armpit.
Hotter than what?
Jalapenos armpit.
That's
okay,
cute.
I've never heard that one before.
That's cute.
All right, well, hopefully more will come in that I've actually heard it.
I'm getting the, that would smell really bad.
It would smell quite stinky.
Sorry.
All right, well, we're just going to do a real quick look at the weather. It's just going to be hot today, and that's why we're talking about this. It is a calm day for us, just high heat. Heat advisories in effect for parts of West Tennessee, but also some of our westernmost counties here in Middle Tennessee. Heat advisory in effect for Henry, Benton, and Decatur County. That's going to go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. tonight. Heat index values could be pushing up to about 105. No storms today, but the storms tomorrow could produce some strong gusty winds, and that's why we're in that level 1 risk. The Storm Prediction Center has put most of our viewing area in that level 1 risk for some strong gusty winds. Also, some of these storms could produce a little bit of heavy rainfall as well.
Steer clear traffic out there. This is going to be I-65 at Moores Lane. This is in Franklin, everybody. Good morning out there. Traffic moving along really nicely so far as you make that drive in from Williamson County. We were looking for phrases. It's hotter than this, hotter than that. It's so hot that I saw the fish sweating. That's how hot it is outside. That's a good one, right? You'll take that? Is that acceptable here? As you make that drive out there, it's so hot that even the grass is, well, no, it's not brown. It's still green in Williamson County because they got it like that out there. We'll continue to follow things out there for you. So far, the traffic is light because I'm making fish sweat jokes.
Hey, I really like it.
We'll take it, Justin. Thank you.
There are 2 artificial intelligence startups that are currently being sued for copyright infringement by major music trade organizations. I feel like we keep having these conversations.
Well, we do. And listen, Tennessee has a new law on the books that's supposed to protect music artists in our state from artificial intelligence. This is specific to the Recording Industry Association of America, which represents huge music labels. Think UMG Nashville. Well, they're going to be suing Suno and Uncharted Labs. The organization claims that those 2 AI startups used unlicensed sound recordings and then popular artist work to train their artificial intelligence systems. How crazy is that? Yeah. This lawsuit also claims that those 2 companies I just mentioned, those companies being Suno and Uncharted Labs, the lawsuit claims those 2 companies were putting out music onto digital music platforms without ever paying or giving credit to artists that are a part of the Recording Industry Association of America. So such a big issue, to Erica's point, that Tennessee has a new law in the books that's supposed to, it's the Elvis Act.
Yeah.
Right? It's supposed to protect artists here, but we certainly have not heard the last of concerns regarding AI in the music industry.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, 5 people arrested overnight after Metro Police say they shot at an officer's squad car. We're going to be live with the very latest update.
And the best moments from the College World Series overnight as your Vols win it all. Congratulations to the men's baseball program at the University of Tennessee. Live looks and more highlights throughout the morning.
And it's just going to be another hot one for us today. Coming up, we'll talk about how hot we get today and also about that storm chance that we're looking at for tomorrow. Those details in just a bit.
All right, Brett, thank you. And good morning to you. Thanks for starting your day with us here on Fox 17 News. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to begin this Tuesday morning with some breaking news updates. We do understand 5 men are now in custody this Tuesday morning after a shooting overnight that led to a police pursuit into another county.
And we have our reporter, Fox 17 News, Madeline Nolan, live this morning from where it all started in East Nashville.
That's right. It all started right here. The scene has since cleared, but it's happened around 11 p.m. at this intersection of Howerton Street at North 6th Street when a Metro detective was shot at while conducting a surveillance in the area. Now, around 20 shell casings were found here at the scene, but the detective was unharmed and no officers fired at the suspects. Now, according to Metro Nashville Police, the shooter fled in a stolen Infiniti, leading police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notified the Mount Juliet Police Department and they quickly responded, deploying a spike system as the suspects exited I-40 onto Golden Bear Gateway and a Volunteer Boulevard. The car was stopped and 5 suspects ran into the woods nearby, according to police. Alongside officers from other agencies, Mount Juliet officers were able to set up a perimeter around the woods and apprehend all 5 of the suspects. The suspects, all from Nashville, are now in Metro Police custody. This is still an ongoing investigation, and as we learn more about this investigation, we'll be sure to update you. For now, live here in East Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Jen talked about it. A big night for the Big Orange. UT winning its first ever College World Series. A lot of Vols fans waking up with big smiles.
And they made history in the process when they did it all in Omaha. Let's go to last night. Christian Moore with the first home run. This was a walk on, I guess you could say. I mean, first at bat here, and he makes it 1-0. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Vols are up, and it's close. It's only 2-1 at this point, but Dylan Dreiling hits his 3rd home run of the weekend. He had 1 in each game, and that 2-run bomb will put the Vols up 5-0 eventually.
Kavares Tears hits this one off the right field wall. Texas A&M with the relay home. Vols, Hunter Inslee rounding 3rd, and somehow he made it.
Watch the play. There's the throw.
Here we go.
Watch the play. That was wild. Kind of, they said it was like a Houdini move.
Yeah.
And then that right there was the pitch, the last strike that ended the game and got the Vols that big win. What a series. It felt like, we were watching Home Run Derby a few times, but congratulations to the Vols.
I know that your son plays baseball. Was it
Yes.
exciting watching with him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, incredible. Because, you think about baseball is so big in Tennessee anyways,
Yes.
and you think about all these kids and teenagers who want to play like that one day, that have that dream.
So it's inspirational.
It really is.
And listen, we know we have some Vanderbilt fans.
Of course.
A lot of them.
Of course.
But even Vanderbilt fans were saying congrats, giving us
Tip of the hat.
props. Yeah.
Tennessee with that first ever national title, the final 6-5 in case you missed it. They're the first #1 seed to win it all since 1999.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist who said he's from Memphis. He's not the biggest Vols fan, but still.
We can pull for everybody this morning.
That's right. I'm happy for everybody on that one. Well, hey, this is the heat advisory that we have in effect for a part of our viewing area. Most of us not included in the heat advisory. Henry, Benton, and Decatur County, though, are included in that heat advisory. That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Heat index values in those areas are going to be pushing close to 105, close to the Tennessee River. So very hot the further west you go. A lot of the country in heat advisories for today. 70 degrees our current temperature right here in Nashville. Plenty of sunshine. That's how we're going to stay through the rest of the day. Everybody else low to upper 60s for the most part for your current temperatures this morning. Radar not showing any rain for us. It is all dry. And then later on today, we're in the 90s already by noon. 91 at noon, 96 your temperature by 5 o'clock. And then as we go through the next 7 days, Wednesday will be the best rain chance. A 60% chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. Some of those could produce some strong gusty winds. Thursday is the lowest temperature day, 91 our high on Thursday.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-65 and I-24 there on the north side. Traffic moving along really nicely. Is a slight slowdown starting to develop here. This is typical for this time of the day, though. Coming in from the north side, 6 o'clock is when things really do start to change when it comes to Nashville traffic. Yes, it's true. We had some overnight slowdowns there, 65 at Old Hickory Boulevard in the Madison area, but we're not seeing those problems. Those have long since cleared. Typical slowdowns there from that north side, and we are starting to see typical drive times as well. Clarksville, excuse me, that's not on the screen. I'm looking you up, Clarksville. You're coming. 29 minutes here from Hendersonville, 61 minutes in from Murfreesboro, 27 minutes in from Kingston Springs.
Now to Operation Crime and Justice, the Robertson County Sheriff's Office letting us know that 2 people are now charged with homicide. It's all related to the death of a man whose body was found along train tracks right near the Montgomery County border.
Yeah, we first reported on that side of this story a while back, but new this morning. The 2 people you see here on your screen, Celia Ramirez Hernandez and her son, Misael Cruz Hernandez, reportedly, according to those investigators, shot Carlos Camaha at a home in Springfield and then took his body and dumped it along the train tracks. Investigators say Celia was the victim's girlfriend at the time of the shooting. Both right now being held without bond. We are still working to find out from police what the motive might have been.
Just about 6:07, and after the break, Clarksville leaders, we were hearing from them because they want to give firefighters and police officers more money to stay with the department. They're the latest city fighting to hold on to their first responders.
6:09 is the time from Hendersonville to Wilson County and now in Clarksville. They are trying to solve the same problem. They want to hold on to their law enforcement, firefighters, and other first responders. They're in high demand across the mid-state, and what's happening is a lot of lawmakers are complaining about the exact same problem. They say first responders start their training with their local department, and then once they finish it, they're certified statewide, which means they can go for any job anywhere, and oftentimes that means going to the very highest bidder.
If you're going to leave and go to Nashville for that when you're going to pay $40 for a tank of gas, that's a big difference. If you're going to pay $40, now if it's a big jump like $12,000, you're going to leave if you're making $50,000. If you're making $50 and you can make $60 and you want to leave, you're going to leave. But $960 to travel, that might not be a big difference. So for me, I'm going to vote for this because there still is a raise. I mean, I work for the federal government. We get frozen, so we might not get no raise per year, and people don't leave.
Well, coming up in our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to hear from another councilwoman there in Clarksville who says there's a whole other reason why people are leaving the department and has nothing to do with pay. According to her, we're going to hear her sound off in a big way coming up in our 7 o'clock hour. Well, federal prosecutors say that Boeing should be facing criminal charges. They are formally recommending the Justice Department pursue prosecution. Meanwhile, though, there in that same department, families of people who died in Boeing's 2018 and 2019 crashes are now taking legal action of their own. Now, in a motion yesterday, the families asked a federal judge to appoint an independent monitor for Boeing. It is a renewed request in light of recent safety concerns. Meanwhile, pressure is growing for the DOJ to file criminal charges against Boeing. Federal prosecutors are recommending that step for what they say are the 737 MAX safety issues. The Justice Department is still deciding about those charges, according to one source familiar with this matter. Now, the department says Boeing did likely violate the terms of a deferred prosecution agreement from 2021. Boeing denies that. They say that it's improving and it's approaching the company's culture as well as its safety.
And today is going to be a hot one. There's a live look, plenty of sunshine for us today, and that's exactly how we're going to stay through the rest of the day. No rain. There is a rain chance for tomorrow, though. I'll show you when that arrives and what you can expect coming up in just a bit.
Just looks hot out there. 65 at Fern Avenue, north of town. We're doing okay with your steer clear traffic. We're going to take a look at some other areas of town coming up in a few. Plus, Julian Assange expected to take a plea deal. He would face no additional jail time. This is after he spent nearly a decade and a half in jails around the world. We're going to tell you about this coming up.
Metro Police and recent whistleblower allegations.
Yeah, we've had a lot come to light here in the last few weeks. Of course, this community review board has been revamped per a new Tennessee law. So Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey joining us live in Nashville to explain what happened overnight and especially as it pertains to community safety. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So the whistleblower allegations were discussed a lot last night right here at the Howard building. The meeting was more than 2.5 hours, and one other thing that was talked about, and again, this all relates to that public oversight, is one of the former chairs of the board. His name's Arnold Hayes, and he said he wants to make sure the board is still seeking public input because public accountability is what the board is all about. Now, as for those allegations, well, the whistleblower allegations, a retired Metro Police officer he released a 61-page document with allegations of misconduct from MNPD higher-ups, and Theda Murphy with the group Community Oversight Now wants the department to be federally investigated.
Because whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower comes up. People in the inside trying to do the right thing, and nothing ever comes of it. And it's the same, and they're saying the same things over and over and over and over again. When does, I keep asking this, when does that stop?
And Murphy added that she wanted this, what she calls a cycle of things that keep happening, to stop as well. Now, coming up in our 6:30 half hour right here on Fox 17, we're going to talk more about some other things brought up in the public comment section of that meeting that happened overnight, including independent counsel for the community review board. It's not a thing right now, but people are calling for it, and we'll hear more on that again in just a little bit. Live this morning in Nashville, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Johnny, thank you so much. You know, Johnny's tough. He's got a blazer on out there, and it's hot outside.
Looks great.
It looks good.
Very sharp. 2 thumbs up on the blazer, Johnny. Just might have to ditch it here in a little bit. It's going to get hot. How hot is it? Well,
How hot is it?
We're asking this morning on Facebook. We got to talking about it with Brett. You know, what's your favorite saying about how hot it is?
We have any more come in?
We have more. Some more comments.
All right, Linda says, I like to say it's so hot it's disrespectful.
Ooh, yeah, I can agree with that.
That is disrespectful.
Yeah, and it's going to be disrespectful today. It's going to be a hot one for us. Some of us even included in a heat advisory. That's how we're going to start things off. The National Weather Service issued this heat advisory for our far western counties. Henry, Benton, and Decatur County all included in that. That's going to go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. later on this evening. Heat index values in those areas along the Tennessee River could be pushing up to about 105. So that's what it could feel like. It could feel like it's about 105 closer to the Tennessee River. Back here further to the east, not quite as bad, but it's still going to be very hot later on today. Highs in the upper 90s. Right now, most areas in the low to upper 60s. No rain for us right now on radar. We are all clear right here in Tennessee and Kentucky. That's how we're going to stay through the rest of the day, too. Future Track not able to pick up on any sort of rain chance as we head through the rest of today. Moving on into tomorrow, though, things begin to change up for us. This is 9 a.m. Some of those showers, a few thunderstorms moving into our northwestern areas. By noon, they get closer to Interstate 65, and then by 5 o'clock, they should be lined up along the plateau and also up there in the parts of southern Kentucky, too. Thursday, we are looking drier, and I'll show you the 7-day forecast really quickly if I have time. High temperatures today, they're going to be in the upper 90s, mid-90s for us on Wednesday, lower 90s Thursday. That's going to be the coolest day.
Steer clear traffic. We have picked up a crash out there, and it's at a bad spot, too. I-65 at Fern Avenue at the overpass there. The crash, you don't need me standing over there to point it out to you. You can see it, right? Yeah, one of these things is not like the others. It's this thing right here. It's not moving. So we've got a crash square in the middle of the interstate here. The problem with this crash is the things back behind it. Okay, actually, there's multiple problems here. Who are we kidding? First of all, we've got people standing outside on an interstate. That's problem number one in the middle of the interstate. That's a problem. The other problem is people back behind it. I promise you, these folks, you can't see them here, but these folks back here, they have no idea that there are people standing outside at this particular moment. They're just trying to get to work. They're just trying to get to where they're going on time. They're in a hurry. They're not paying attention. Some of them are distracted on their phones. And this is how worse problems can happen if you're not careful. So this is very dangerous. Hopefully TDOT, Metro Police, somebody will get there and get these folks pulled over to the shoulder of the road so they can deal with this. But this is 65 at the Fern Avenue overpass as you come into town from Madison and other places along the North Nashville area. You can take Gallatin Pike. You can take Dickerson Pike. You can take Ellington as good ways to steer clear, because this is going to cause a bit of a backup here back behind it. Again, hopefully they can get folks out of the lane here very, very quickly.
Justin, thank you. 6:19 right now, and new this morning, in exchange for his freedom, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is pleading guilty to a felony count. Now, he is the man accused of illegally accessing and then sharing classified national security documents.
Well, the WikiLeaks founder agreed to a plea deal with the U.S. Justice Department. The U.S. had indicted Assange on 18 counts related to WikiLeaks' release of confidential U.S. military records. Assange said at the time he was seeking to expose war crimes. Now prosecutors will seek a 62-month prison sentence. That is how long Assange has spent locked up in a high-security British prison while fighting extradition to the U.S. The deal would credit that time as served.
From the U.S. government's perspective, he's already been in prison for several years, and so they believe that this time-served punishment is actually a reflection of the crime that was committed.
Really a fascinating story that we have been following for years. Now, everything still has to be formally approved by a federal judge here. Assange is expected to plead guilty in a federal court tomorrow. I was watching some updates from Julian Assange's Twitter account this morning. They're documenting his flights home. And so that's interesting. We understand the hearing is going to take place tomorrow in the Mariana Islands.
Well, coming up, Vols fans aren't the only ones celebrating a hard-fought Stanley Cup Finals, and it meant a win for the Florida Panthers. We're going to share some of the highlights from overnight.
A quick note of gratitude for all of you. We appreciate you waking up with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. Erica said she was at the Donaldson Library yesterday, the grand opening, and got to meet a lot of you who watch our morning show. So we're so glad you're here. We're glad to be here for you. We've got you covered live and local through 9 a.m.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feeding America for our Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Campaign. You can donate by simply scanning the QR code on your screen or go to Sinclair.
Manjaro is not for people with type 1 diabetes or children. Don't take Manjaro if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Manjaro and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, vision changes, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Taking Manjaro with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Tell your doctor if you're nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can cause dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I can do diabetes differently with Manjaro.
Ask your doctor about once weekly Manjaro.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Happy Tuesday. Live look of the sun as it's coming up from the east side, looking toward the east from Metro Center. I do believe there's so much sun glare. I'm trying to make sure this is Metro Center.
It is.
And it is. We can see the Cumberland River on the left and the Titans practice bubble on the right. Gorgeous start to the day. Blue skies and sunshine. High UV index. And the heat is on. We'll take a closer look at your forecast here in minutes.
Well, the Tennessee Volunteers are not the only ones celebrating a championship here this morning. They've got a little company. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals last night between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. The Panthers looking for their first ever cup. The Oilers trying to make a historic comeback here.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since they've won as well. So hold it down the rest of the way. They get the win in Game 7. Oh, man, the heartbreak for the Oilers.
David there. He's a superstar and couldn't quite make it.
Heartbreak, you golly. All right, as they say, though, it's just all part of the, game. Yep. All right, forecast right now. Extended forecast from Brett. He stepped out for just a minute to work on another project, but just wanted to let you know that, yes, it is going to be very hot today. 98. I mean, we could see a few places that flirt with 100. But the big storyline as we get into tomorrow is going to be the chance for some storms. We've got right now on this extended forecast a 60% chance for storms tomorrow. When are they going to fire up? We'll check in with Brett here in just a few minutes to find out.
Steer clear traffic. What a mess we've got developing on I-65. The good news is they stopped that problem I was talking about earlier where people were standing out in the middle of the interstate. They've gotten that well under control. The problem is now instead of 3 lanes are open, it's down to 1 on 65 coming into town at 6:30 in the morning. This is going to cause some problems. You probably want to try to take Ellington Parkway, Dickerson Pike, Gallatin Road, any way other than 65 at this point to get north and south in and around the Trinity Lane area. It's going to be a bit of a mess here for the next little bit. Hopefully they can get it cleared up quickly, but we're going to give you the latest drive time and take a look at the maps here. Hopefully by then they can get those fire trucks moved out of the way.
6:28 is your time right now. A restaurant owner in critical condition after a hit and run. We're going to tell you new information this morning about the truck that police are searching for right now and whoever was behind the wheel at the time.
5 suspects are now in custody after shooting at Metro Police. I'm live where it all began with more coming up in just a moment.
Trading Company, your outdoors supercenter since 1952.
Arrested overnight after Metro Nashville police say they shot at an officer's squad car. We've got the breaking news updates in moments.
Plus, there is a group of business owners that are giving up $10,000 when it comes to hopes of getting some more justice for another restaurant owner injured in a recent hit and run.
Steer clear traffic at 65 at Fern Avenue. They've gotten the lanes reopened after a crash that involved some injuries, had some injuries involved, I should say, on the north side. We're going to take you there coming up in the next few.
More updates to come, but first we do want to say thank you for joining us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get you updated right now on the breaking news of the morning. And it's the story I just mentioned. 5 men right now in custody following a shooting and an overnight police pursuit through Nashville and into another county.
Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live from where this all began in East Nashville. Madeline, you've been there for a long time now. Are you getting some more updates?
No updates just yet, but we are here where it all began in this intersection right here behind me around 11 p.m. at Howerton Street and North 6th Street when a conducting surveillance here in the area. Now, around 20 shell casings were found here at the scene, but the detective was fired at the suspects. According to the Metro Nashville Police Department, the shooters fled in a stolen Infiniti, leading police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notified the Mount Juliet Police Department and they quickly responded, deploying a spike system as the suspects exited I-40 onto Golden Bear Gateway and Volunteer Boulevard. Now, the car was stopped and 5 suspects ran into the woods nearby, according to police. Alongside officers from other agencies, Mount Juliet officers were able to set up a perimeter around the woods and apprehend all 5 of the suspects. The suspects, all from Nashville, are now in Metro Police custody, but this is still an ongoing investigation. As we learn more information, we'll be sure to update you all. For now, live here in East Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Right now, we're showing you a live look over at the University of Tennessee Knoxville location where you can see the rock there in the middle of campus. There is certainly a whole lot to be proud of this Tuesday morning.
Oh, man, I mean, making records. Our Vols really went through the whole College World Series process with a lot of things to hang your hat on, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar, maybe you're not a baseball fan, they just won overnight. It's the first time national championship winning baseball team for the University of Tennessee. They're going to have a parade on campus at 6:30 right down Gay Street, and then they're going to have a large celebration in Market Square. So a lot of fans are going to be out there. I was just watching a really cool video with the baseball coach, the football coach, and the basketball coach, and they were all celebrating last night on the baseball field.
Yeah, well, congratulations to the Tennessee Vols baseball program. You know, doing big things. Also, speaking of doing big things, the baseball facility there on Rocky Top going through major upgrades. And that'll be thanks in part to this College World Series win.
We're going to check in now and get you a Tuesday forecast. It's hot. Good morning, Brett.
It is hot, and that's going to be the big story for us for today. And good morning to y'all, too, by the way. But the heat is on for a lot of the country. Everybody highlighted in orange under those heat advisories. We do have excessive heat warnings right there along the Mississippi River. Most of Middle Tennessee not included in any heat alert, even though we will have high temperatures today reaching to the mid to upper 90s, depending on where you're at. But Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties, those counties included in that heat advisory, that's going to run from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. heat index value, so what it could feel like pushing up to about 105 or so close to the Tennessee River. 70 degrees our current temperature right here in Nashville. Plenty of sunshine right now, and that's exactly how we're going to stay through the rest of today too. Current temperatures for everybody else, 60s and 70s, 61 in McMinnville, 66 in Murfreesboro. We're at 68 right now in Dickson. It is going to be hot today. High temperature this afternoon should be in the upper 90s. Then we'll be in the mid 90s with a better rain chance for tomorrow.
Steer clear traffic takes us to the north side of town. This is going to be I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass up there. We have got the Tennessee Department of Transportation along with Metro Police all in place. This is after a crash that left several cars really battered there, and I believe may have sent at least one person to the hospital. So crews are there. They're waiting on tow trucks now, and this is going to cause a bit of a backup. You can see one car pausing there to try to move over. Tennessee has a move over law, so they're doing so with good reason, but it is going to cause a bit of a backup. Let me show you to you here on our maps. We're talking about 51 minutes on the drive right now from Hendersonville all the way into downtown Nashville. Look at the drag from here right at the split at the Fern Avenue, and it goes all the way back at this point through Dickerson Pike, several miles back at this point. So heads up, you want to try to use Dickerson Pike itself. That's right here at Highway 41. Perhaps you want to try Ellington Parkway. That's what this is here, or even over at Gallatin Road right there. All of that will help you steer clear.
Justin, thank you. In Operation Crime and Justice, a group of Nashville businessmen and Metro Nashville Police, they're now working together. They're trying to track down the driver responsible for severely injuring the owner of Smokin' Thighs. It's a restaurant, and that person responsible just drove away.
And those business owners that Erica mentioned now offering a $10,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Let's get the details here. We're going to put them on your screen because police are really hoping somebody can help bring justice. The hit and run happened in the parking lot of Smokin' Thighs on Wedgwood Avenue around 6 p.m. last Wednesday. Think about it, folks. That was right during rush hour. There would have been a ton of people in the area. The owner of Smokin' Thighs, Matthew Carney, is now critically injured. We understand he has not regained consciousness. Witnesses reported seeing a maybe 1980s to early 2000s black pickup truck that hit Carney and then drove away. And by the way, in addition to that $10,000 that local business owners have come up with, Crime Stoppers is offering a reward on top of that. You can call Crime Stoppers with any good information, 615-742-7463.
Just ahead, after the East Palestine train derailment last year, the findings of an investigation are now being released today, later this morning.
And the continuing impact this morning of deadly flooding in the Midwest. We have a dam that is currently in a failure state, threatening communities downstream. More rain on the way. We'll get an update here in moments.
Nothing dims. We're talking about the one in Ohio that made national news.
Yeah, this is East Palestine there. The National Transportation Safety Board has now scheduled a hearing for today to talk about the investigation into that Norfolk Southern freight derailment. The video that you're looking at here, something we'll never forget. Dozens of cars going off the tracks in that Ohio community. 11 of them had hazardous materials, and locals have been worried about their health and possible environmental impacts ever since.
Now, the board also plans to share recommendations to avoid future derailments, at least they hope. Well, more storms are possible in parts of the Midwest where a lot of people have already been impacted by the heavy rains and the flooding, and at least 2 people who have died in places like Iowa and South Dakota.
Yeah, and then we've got a dam that is reaching critical failure state in Minnesota. So let's get you updated here. National Weather Service forecasting severe storms, damaging winds coming in this afternoon and this evening on top of what you're seeing here. And this is the record-breaking flooding. We understand that, as Justin mentioned, parts of South Dakota, Iowa, and into Minnesota going to really bear the brunt of this. The National Weather Service says they have had record-breaking rainfall over the last couple of days.
So the question is, what are we going to be looking at here in the Mid-State? Let's get to Brent Luna right now. Look at the forecast.
Yeah, no rain for us today. We're going to stay all dry today. Tomorrow, though, that's going to change. We are looking at a better rain chance tomorrow. Today, we're just dealing with the heat. Heat advisories in effect for our far western counties, Henry, Benton, and Decatur County, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. under that heat advisory. It could feel like it's about 105 in those areas right there along the Tennessee River. Current temperatures right now in the 60s for most locations. We're at 70 right here in Nashville. Again, not seeing any rain right now, and that's how we're going to stay through the rest of today. We are all dry. It is going to be a warm one, though. Temperatures warming up to the upper 90s later on this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic takes us to the north side of town. That's going to be I-65 here at the Fern Avenue overpass. We are dealing with a crash on the shoulder of the road. You can see the front end of that car all bent up. The best way to steer clear at this point is going to be using things like Dickerson Pike, Ellington Parkway, and Gallatin Road. We'll give you the latest drive times coming up in a few.
Nashville's Community Review Board facing several issues, looking at Metro Nashville Police whistleblowers and certain legal cases. We're going to get you updated here in minutes.
And mosquito season is here. We are having some concerns about the bugs who carry some diseases. We're going to tell you how to control their population around your home.
Permanent pain relief. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. This is the power of stem cell therapy.
I'm former State Senator May Beavers. My knees and ankle hurt so bad I had to prop them up with pills.
Last night's 2.5-hour meeting right here at the Howard Building. And another thing that was brought up was actually Metro Legal and their representation of both the Community Review Board as well as Metro Police. People are claiming there's a conflict of interest and the Community Review Board should hire independent counsel. Now, at a previous public meeting discussing the whistleblower allegations, a Metro legal attorney did warn the chair of the review board not to discuss the topic publicly for legal purposes, but the discussion did go on publicly anyways. And a member of the group Community Oversight Now says this would be good for both sides.
If you have an environmental group and Exxon on the other side, and they're represented by the same attorney, it's impossible to have effective counsel. There's absolutely no third-year constitutional law course in undergraduate school in which you would find 0% of the students that would agree to that kind of effective counsel. So it's very important for both sides.
And we did reach out to both the mayor's office and Metro Legal on this conflict of interest claim. In Nashville, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Johnny, thank you. In consumer news now, the Transportation Security Administration says Sunday was its busiest day ever. And yes, it's only going to get even busier.
The TSA says they expect to screen more than 32 million passengers nationwide in the days around the 4th of July. If that happens, it would be a 5.5% increase over the same time last year. So if you are planning to travel around the 4th, make sure you plan accordingly. You've got all your reservations locked up. You are checking your apps in advance.
And that you have a whole lot of patience.
And you get there early. That's right, especially here in Nashville at BNA.
And hey, talking about airports and departures, we're also letting you know that today, one lane at Nashville's airport is going to be closed. B&A leaders say it's not out here on the highway that you're looking at right now. The lane closure is within the airport, the far right lane leading up to the departures level. So construction for an additional lane over there in that area that we're talking about is going to start after the lane closure. Just keep that in mind if you're heading out to the airport. We're just trying to save you an additional headache.
Yeah, absolutely. And at 6:48 right now, if you're not careful, the heat can give you a headache. You know, I've been talking to a lot of people lately that have had what they feel like are heat-induced headaches, whether that's like to the actual heat or dehydration, Brett.
I'm sure it can do it, yeah. I mean, even just like laying out at the pool for a long time. I don't know, that's maybe just like looking up that whole time, but your head just kind of starts to hurt a little bit.
You mean because you sit at the pool and you don't hydrate?
Oh, no, I hydrate. Okay. I always bring a water bottle.
Did you get you a suntan yesterday?
No, I ended up doing a few other things, but I'm going to try to go to the pool today.
All right. Hey, I've got more comments on how hot is it,
Okay,
Brett.
what
Are
you
you
got?
ready? It's so hot, you can fry an egg. We talked about that. By the way, this is on Facebook.
Yes.
So we put the question over on my Facebook page this morning. How do you say it's so hot? Ronnie says it's so hot, it's humiliating.
Yeah. So we got, what was the first one?
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful. All right. So disrespectful.
Somebody says it's hotter than Satan's front porch.
Yeah.
Never heard that one before.
That's kind of how it's going to feel today, too. We do have a heat advisory in effect for our far western counties. That's where it's going to be the hottest for today. Henry, Benton, and Decatur County included within that heat advisory. That's going to go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and it could feel like it is about 105 degrees the closer you get to the Tennessee River here in Nashville. I think our high temperature today should be topping out around the upper 90s, and then we bring in that better chance for some showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow. 95, our high tomorrow.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Take a look at this thunderstorm anvil. It was spotted north of Birmingham, but the storm itself was 70 miles north of where the photo was taken. Here's a time-lapse view of the strawberry moon rising over Mount Rainier during the weekend. And when temperatures spike, one way to beat the heat is on the water, like these tubers and fishermen in Utah's Provo River.
Listen to Off the Radar. New episodes every Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get you out about here to our latest crash happening on the north side. This is going to be I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. This crash did have some injuries at one point and really slowed things up there for you. They're waiting on a tow truck right now, but it is still causing a bit of a backup there as people are having to move over as they wait for crews to clear that scene. Let me show it to you here on the maps. It is causing problems other places as well. I can see now. Hendersonville into downtown now. 51 minutes is where we're sitting. You can see the long line of traffic back behind it that now extends well beyond Dickerson Pike. To steer clear, you want to use things like Dickerson Pike itself. That's Highway 41 here. Ellington Parkway also having a bit of a slowdown there. Gallatin Pike, if you so choose, can also help you get around it.
Well, from coast to coast, millions of Americans are feeling the sting, I'm coming over, of a long mosquito season.
Listen, it's rough this time of year, especially at sunrise, but mainly sunset, you know, when those mosquitoes like to come out. And obviously we have concerns about health with regards to West Nile and whatnot.
Yeah, Fox News' Kirian Shively has much more.
Are you itching and covered in bites? You're not alone. This has been one of the most active mosquito seasons on record in the U.S. And while most people are busy grabbing the bug spray and repellent, some researchers are sounding the alarm about a possible new West Nile virus outbreak. It's being fueled by an unusually long mosquito biting season, which is being blamed on rapid urbanization, leading mosquitoes to skip their usual hibernation and just keep buzzing around.
If you just expose them to that little bit of light pollution, they will continue to bite and blood feed, and they'll continue to make lots and lots of babies. So that's particularly concerning.
Folks across the country are now being urged to take precautions, including removing excess water from outdoor areas and wearing mosquito repellent.
These are things we face every single year, and we have to be prepared for, and we need the public to be prepared.
With the possibility that this mosquito biting season could stretch into November, researchers are asking local officials to keep up their vigilance and keep hunting for the insects even after the temperature starts to drop.
And most mosquito surveillance districts aren't collecting and testing mosquitoes and applying pesticides like spring pesticides in the fall.
The CDC says up to 10,000 Americans are infected with West Nile every year. Only about 20% of those experience symptoms, but they're usually severe, including high fevers and damage to the central nervous system. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Caroline, thank you. Jen, are you a Ludacris fan?
Well,
coming up, Fort Campbell is planning their 4th of July celebration, and they got a big name in the headlines for music.
I mean, I feel like I'd have to dig into the vault to keep it clean, but but sure, why not? Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning in our 7 o'clock hour. First responders with Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Just a few minutes before 7 o'clock and a live look at the sun as it comes up from the east. And this is the perspective from North Nashville, our station. We got a camera right on top of the studios here. And man, it's going to be hot. How hot? Well, you tell us. We've got a question right now going over on my Facebook page where we've asked, what's your favorite saying about the heat? Sound off. Let us know. We're kind of sharing your feedback throughout the course of the morning.
I can't believe 4th of July is next week, and Ludacris is headlining this year's 4th of July celebrations over at Fort Campbell. We were talking during the break about our favorite Ludacris songs.
Yeah, it's hard to even say because they're just not suitable for work.
That's true.
But y'all know some of those songs. The concert, by the way, is free for soldiers and visitors starting at 6 p.m. Thursday, which is the 4th of July. This is going to be on the Division Parade Field.
The 101st Army Rock Band and Echo Smith is going to open the show before Ludacris takes the stage. Fort Campbell says they're expecting more than 45,000 people this year. By the way, Ludacris is expected to go ahead and play from 8:30, if you're trying to time all this out, 8:30 to 10 o'clock at night. The fireworks show are going to wrap up the night.
We're curious about Ludacris, like, why Ludacris at Fort Campbell?
I would really like to know how they selected Ludacris. Hey, I'm not hating on Ludacris.
No, but like he's not from that area.
Yeah,
It's
an interesting selection.
Maybe he does a lot to support the troops.
Perhaps.
Right.
Just keep it family friendly.
Clean.
Yes.
Radio edit, if you know what we're saying.
Weather-wise, do we have a forecast for next week, 4th of July?
Yeah, you know, I can talk about that here in a little bit. I'll talk about today first and the rest of this week, and just show you, I mean, it's kind of sound like a broken record, but it's just going to be hot for these next several days. Today is going to be a hot one. High temperatures here in Nashville. We should be in the upper 90s in Nashville. Further west today, though, Henry, Benton, Decatur County, all included in that heat advisory. This is for today. That's going to go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. later on this evening. It could feel like it's about 105 degrees right there along the Tennessee River. Now, this map is for tomorrow. No storms today, but for tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center has most of our viewing area in that level 1 risk, and that's mainly for the chance for some strong gusty winds, maybe a little bit of small hail with some of those storms too, and some heavy rainfall, but mainly for some gusty winds. Later on this weekend, humidity is going to start to build in. It's going to start to feel like it is around 100 again or so. So this weekend is going to be pretty hot and humid. Tomorrow, we bring in the best rain chance. 60% chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, 95 our high. Thursday, we're at 91, and then Friday, Saturday, we have high temperatures going back to the upper 90s. 30 to 40% chance for storms Saturday and Sunday.
Brett, thank you. At 6:58, we do want to do a quick check of your steer clear traffic update here. North of downtown, I-65 at Fern Avenue. The tow truck just pulled in there on the right shoulder. They're trying to get that vehicle out of there. The other vehicle, I believe, was already towed away. So we're following up on a multi-vehicle crash right there on the shoulder. So do give yourself a little bit of extra time. It's not closing down any of the lanes.
No, but it is certainly backing them up.
Right, causing a lot of backup there in that area. So again, I-65 over at Fern Avenue. Give yourself plenty of extra time. We'll continue checking in on this, and hopefully they get this cleared out and out of the way for you in a couple of minutes.
All right, let's look ahead to the weekend. We've got racing coming back to Nashville. 3 days of Nashville Super Speedway races begin.
All right, on Friday, take a look here. NASCAR Truck Series coming to the Super Speedway with the Rackley Roofing 200. That race is going to be at 7 p.m. Saturday, though, is the Tennessee Lottery 250, part of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That gets started at 4 p.m. and the main event is going to be Sunday. NASCAR Cup Series, the Ally 400, the green flag waves at 2:30 that afternoon. Stay with us, though. Our 7 o'clock hour is getting underway right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This morning we're live in Gallatin, where a new city councilor will be selected by the council tonight. We'll tell you why that's happening.
And it's just going to be another hot day for us today. A few of our counties under a heat advisory. I'll show you which counties those are and also talk a bit about this rain chance coming up tomorrow here in just a little bit.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-65. That is at Fern Avenue. We're waiting on the tow truck to come pull this crash out of the way. We've got the very latest on drive times coming up in a few.
All right, thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source through 9 a.m. when the other stations go to that national network programming that's pre-recorded. It's not live here, but we are just for you for the next 2 hours. So let's get you started right now this hour with the biggest local headline that we're following new this morning, and it is a breaking news update. 5 men now in custody after a shooting and an overnight police chase that went from Davidson County across the county line.
Police also telling us that one detective was shot while conducting surveillance in the area, but not hit. So we're mapping it out, also giving you some more updates. Police say around 20 shell casings were found at the scene. Officials also telling Fox 17 News that the shooters, they took off in a stolen Infiniti, which led police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notifying the Mount Juliet Police Department and responded, they say, by deploying a spike system as the suspects exited I-40. This is all according to police.
All right, so they throw out the spike strips, the car comes to a stop, and 5 people took off running into the woods alongside the officers who were giving chase. So we had Metro and we have Mount Juliet officers teaming up together. They set up a perimeter around that wooded area and were thankfully able to catch all 5 people who were in that car. So a good update there. And again, the officer who was shot at was not hit, but a lot of shots fired toward that car. We'll keep you updated as we learn more about this breaking news story.
Right now, though, TBI issuing a silver alert for a Nashville man missing for almost a month. Take a look here. 80-year-old Robert Weissman was last seen May 29th on Sadler Avenue driving his 2021 gray Chevy Trax. If you have any information as to where he might be, you are asked to call the number on the bottom of your screen. It is 1-800-TBI-FIND. If you want to take a closer look at this photo, maybe you want to get some more details, visit fox17.com.
Happening today, Gallatin set to get a new city council member after we had a councilwoman resign abruptly a couple of weeks ago, claiming she was the victim of bullying.
A lot of details here. Right now, though, with more updates, is Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey caught up with the mayor ahead of tonight's vote. What can you tell us? I know you're live in Gallatin with the latest update.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So that's right, we're here in front of City Hall in Gallatin, and what we know is back last week on June 18th, so a week ago today, several candidates made their pitches to the current city council, all trying to take Eileen George's seat, and there were actually 2 candidates in the running as well that were not present at the meeting if you were at that meeting last week. So what we know is Councilwoman Eileen George, former Councilwoman Eileen George, accused Councilman Pascal Jovens and his supporters of bullying, which Jovens denies and actually sent a cease and desist since that accusation, over the accusations. I did ask Mayor Paige Brown here in Gallatin in a conversation we had yesterday about those accusations.
It's disappointing. I mean, you don't want that for your city. You don't want that for individuals. It's always, always sad when someone's hurt, and it's difficult times these days. I mean, we're in a growing area, and there are lots of people unhappy about that, and people aren't their kindest all the time.
So again, there's been a few moving parts right here at City Hall in Gallatin throughout the month, but what's next is tonight. The vote is scheduled, so we'll talk a little bit more about the candidates coming up at 7:30 and also ask the mayor if she has a pick yet. Live this morning in Gallatin, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Johnny, thank you very much. 7:04 is the time right now. Let's talk balls.
Yeah, and sports news this morning, if you didn't watch the baseball game, if you're hiding under a rock, they are now the College World Series championship. They won over in Omaha, 6-5 win over Texas A&M. UT is now the first #1 seed to win it all since 1999.
And of course, in Knoxville, Vols fans are going nuts.
Yes.
They quickly went to the rock and repainted it, just mentioning the fact that they are now the 2024 men's college World Series champions. Really exciting time to be a fan of Vols baseball. There's going to be a parade today. It starts at 6:30 this evening. It'll run down Gay Street, and then they're going to have a big party, basically, in Market Square.
Jen, why do I have the feeling that some Vols fans are going to be calling off today? Rearranging some schedules?
I don't know. Why do you have the feeling?
I don't know. Maybe because my husband was texting me. Listen, some people are going to be calling off today. Let them do it.
Yeah,
they're celebrating.
Sure. Listen, it's the first time ever. It's a great time to be a Vols fan. Even Vandy fans have, said this morning, okay, we don't bleed orange, but congratulations.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
Right. All right.
I'm from Memphis, and I'm happy for him.
There you go.
That's an awesome accomplishment right there. But, hey, it is going to be a hot one. If you have any outdoor plans later on today, or really any time today, just make sure you're staying hydrated out there. Heat advisories are in effect for our far western counties, Henry, Benton, and Decatur, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. under that heat advisory. Temperatures, or it could feel like, actually, it is about 105 degrees. I think actual temperatures are going to be pushing pretty close to 100 over there, though. 73 right here in Nashville. It is nothing but mostly sunny skies and dry right here, and that's exactly how we're going to stay for the rest of today too. Temperatures right now, they are in the 60s and 70s. Not seeing any sort of rainfall going on right now. We're dry for the rest of today. Tomorrow we bring in a better chance though for some showers and thunderstorms. That's going to move into our northwestern areas around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning or so, and then drop south and east as we head through the rest of the morning and through the afternoon hours. 95 on Wednesday. Thursday's the lowest temperature day, high at 91 on Thursday.
Steer clear traffic at I-65 here at Fern Avenue. We are waiting on a tow truck to get there and fully pull this car that was involved in an earlier crash out of the way. And once they do, it will free up some lanes out here because the backup is rather large. Let's show it to you here. Keep in mind, this is at the Fern Avenue overpass. This is I-65 at Dickerson Pike. This is about a 2-mile difference, and the evidence is clear that that crash up there is causing a big backup here. Let's take a look at the drive times. 47 minutes in from Hendersonville right now. You could try to use Ellington Parkway, but it's slow too. Dickerson Pike, a good way to steer clear as well. 72 minutes in from the borough, 64 minutes in from Clarksville.
Well, 7:07 is the time, and coming up, we're talking about the efforts to keep first responders on the payroll.
Justin McFarland explains why cities like Clarksville are fighting the good fight right now, trying to keep them.
First responders, because they're in high demand across much of the mid-state. What's happening is many of the first responders start to train in one place, and then once they finish their training, they jump off for the highest bidder. That's why certain cities want to give pay raises to try and get them to stay. However, one Clarksville alderwoman, Wanda Smith, says that the reason people are leaving has nothing to do with pay. Listen.
We're going to lose employees regardless of whether we give the wage increase or not. This has been happening all the time. Every time we give the wage increase, we still lacking employees. I say why? My thought is this, and I'll say it again. We don't treat people right. So we lose people. Then we hire people that don't tell the truth. I said this in our committee meetings, and I want to say it before the public. Wage increases does not guarantee that we will not lose employees. So we need to cut that line out because we're still short. I believe in giving raises, but I also believe in cutting them too when you don't treat people right. So that's my words. Some of you looking like you don't understand, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, some cities and counties say they are now considering whether or not they want to force certain types of recruits to sign contracts to say that they are going to stay with that particular jurisdiction for a certain amount of time to make sure that the city gets a proper investment back for the training that they did. Let's talk about Operation Crime and Justice. A man is now in custody after police say he was the cause of a deadly crash 3 years ago on Trinity Lane. According to Metro Police, they say that William Tribune was taken into custody in Rutherford County back in June of 2021. Now, he was driving a Dodge Charger at a high rate of speed, according to authorities, when he ran off the road and overturned, killing another man, Xavier Dunlap. Police say that the suspect and another passenger were both hurt. He is now facing charges of vehicular homicide by intoxication as well as vehicular assault.
It's just going to be another hot one for us today. Some of us are under those heat advisories. I'll show you where those are and what that means, and also talk about that rain chance that we have coming up tomorrow here in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic at I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass north of town. You can see where they're loading up a car that was involved in a crash, trying to clear the final lane of a bad accident from earlier in the morning. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear. Plus, we're taking a look at the Nashville Fire Department headquarters. That's where a program to address mental health is now growing a little bit. Madeline Nolan will have the details after the break.
Responsible for hitting the owner of Smokin' Thighs restaurant.
Yeah, so this all happened in the parking lot of Smokin' Thighs this past Wednesday afternoon. Police say the owner, Matthew Carney, was seriously hurt. Witnesses reported seeing a black pickup truck, a little bit older model, maybe 1980s to 2000s black pickup truck involved.
If you have any information about the driver, you are asked to call the number that is right here at the bottom of your screen. It is 615-742-7463.
We have a pilot program in Nashville that has just been expanded. This is a program that is meant to free up Nashville ambulances as well as help people experiencing a mental health crisis.
Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan is joining us live from a downtown fire station with more on the program that is known as REACH.
Yeah, that's right. Busy is an understatement for the Nashville Fire Department, especially right here at the fire station number 9. It's one of the local ones, and you can hear them right now. They're actually been responding since we got here. But this is kind of the whole goal of this pilot program called REACH, or Responders Engaged and Committed to Helping, uses the fire department, which sends out a mental health professional with medics, according to the director of co-response services at the Mental Health Cooperative. Now, they answer mental health calls that would normally be answered by ambulances. In their pilot year alone, they saw over 570 calls, and that's a lot of work for just 2 counselors riding with these fire department medics. But as the pilot program ends at the end of the month, the success has been proven.
These ambulances would have gone on these calls. 100% of the people would have gotten an ambulance trip in a bill, an emergency room stay in a bill. Right now, we're able to divert from the ER about 65 to 70%, depending on the month. And 25% of those go directly to our crisis treatment center. About 11% go directly to a psychiatric facility for treatment. About 30% of the people their issues are resolved at home. And we're able to really help those people.
Last week, Metro leaders voted to boost the REACH program, passing the city's budget, which will increase the hours of the program to include nights and weekends. This program mirrors the Partners in Care program that's also in cahoots with the police department. They typically answer those calls that need that police response. Now, we'll have more on the REACH program in the next 30 minutes, but for now, live here in Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Lots of sunshine out there. You can see it in her live shot. Certainly want to take the sunglasses. A good hat would be a good idea today, too.
Yeah, I'm a big hat guy. I like a hat.
Shade where you can get it.
Absolutely.
How hot is it? Well, Vicki Prager says it's so hot when I opened my front door, I thought I was checking my cornbread.
I like that one.
Feeling like an oven.
Oh, I like that one.
I think that's probably one of my favorite ones that you read. The other ones are creative, but that one, I like that one.
So sound off. Let us know, how hot is it to you? Give us your favorite sayings over on my Facebook account. We'll be sharing them.
And it is going to be a hot one today. We have heat advisories in effect for some of us. It's our far western counties that are under this heat advisory. That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's going to be Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties. It could feel like it's about 105 degrees over there near the Tennessee River. So very warm for all of us, but especially over there that direction. Temperatures are in the 60s for most spots, 63 in Crossville. Crossville started out this morning in the 50s, so warmer there now. 73 right here in Nashville. We're at 71. That's the current temperature up there in Clarksville. Not seeing any rain on radar. It's all dry, and that's exactly how we're going to stay through the rest of today. Future track not able to pick up on any sort of shower activity here across Middle Tennessee or Southern Kentucky. As we head on into tomorrow morning, that's when conditions start to change up for us a little bit. This is 9 a.m. Some of these showers, a few thunderstorms moving into our northwestern areas. This line slides southeast throughout the day. By noon, it pushes closer to Interstate 65, and then by 5 o'clock, lining up along the plateau and also into parts of Southern Kentucky too. And then the rest of Thursday is looking pretty dry, maybe just a few showers around the plateau. We could see a few of those storms. This is for Wednesday. A few of those storms on Wednesday produce some gusty winds, also a little bit of heavy rainfall with some of those thunderstorms too. 95 a high on Wednesday, 98 the high today, and then Thursday we're at 91.
Steer clear traffic. We have picked up a new crash. This one's at I-40 at Church Street in the heart of downtown Nashville. It's right at the exit, really, for Broadway. We're just using the Church Street camera, but it's Broadway. The Broadway exit is where the actual crash is itself. The exit is open. You can get by, just something to be aware of as you get out and about there. Unsure exactly how bad the accident is. It's tough to see as law enforcement is over there doing their work in that area, but watch out for it there in downtown. All right, the other thing we're watching is the leftovers of a crash that at one point had just one lane open on I-65 here at the Fern Avenue overpass in the heart of downtown, or north of downtown rather. It is going to be a slow go until they get this out of the way. You can use Ellington Parkway, Dickerson Pike, or Gallatin as good ways to steer clear.
It is 7:20 right now. Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning, a mid-state man says he's at his wit's end with Metro Water Services. He says they're delivering empty promises on chronic flooding on his property. That story in moments.
And right now we're taking a live look from the White House. I know a lot of folks are looking forward to this coming debate between former President Donald Trump and Biden. It's happening on Thursday. But there are also now reports that Melania Trump might not return to D.C. full time if former President Trump were to serve a second term. We're going to share some more updates. You can read more about that at fox17.com.
That's been happening over and over again right in front of his home.
After seeing Fox 17 News' original story, Metro Water Services agreed to send somebody over to see if the city might somehow be able to help here, or perhaps if the city might have been responsible for some of this. But the homeowner says he still hasn't seen anybody from Metro Water Services. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar with the story.
They're not paying any attention to me at all. They don't want to deal with me or my problem.
John Cripps is frustrated his complaints about constant flooding to his home are not being taken care of.
I don't know what to do.
He has lived in this home on Bull Run Road for nearly 5 decades. In the last 10 years, he says his house has been flooded over and over again. He says it's caused damage to his property.
It's cost me over $10,000 in fence repairs. It's washed 700 foot of fence away one time, 500 foot of fence away, and then 400 foot of fence away, and it will do it again.
Metro Water Services told Fox 17 News they put in a culvert right here, but that was 5 years ago.
Has Metro Water Services come out ever since they put that culvert in?
No, they haven't.
Take a look at his culvert. It still has water in it, even with the heat. Cripps tells me that he wants his culvert to look like his neighbors, including having a box culvert.
Well, I think they could dig the ditch deeper and go straight to the creek.
When we first reached out to Metro Water Services, they said they weren't going to come out. Then they said they would. John Cripps is still waiting for them to contact him.
I think I've lost all hope.
Fox 17 News, Karen Aguilar reporting there with that particular story. So obviously we'll continue to follow this. It's something we featured on our morning show just a few weeks ago.
You know, and Water Services, as we mentioned, said they would go out there and take a look at things. We're going to continue to follow up to see when and whether they do show up to try to, help this man out. As soon as we learn about that, we'll be sure to let you know.
And this is going to be a warm one for a lot of us across the country for today. We have a lot of heat advisories that are in effect for a good bit of the country. This is going to be everybody that's highlighted in that shade of orange. That is a heat advisory. Excessive heat warnings right there along the Mississippi River. Here in Middle Tennessee, only 3 of our counties that we cover are included in that heat advisory. The rest of us not included in any alert for today, but Henry, Benton, and Decatur County in that heat advisory. That's going to go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. We could have heat index values, so what it could feel like, pushing up to about 105 a little bit later on this afternoon. So very warm today. And also, this is for tomorrow. This is not for today. Today we are all dry, but tomorrow there is that level 1 risk for nearly all of the viewing area. The main concern will be that a couple of those storms could try to produce some strong gusty winds and some heavy rainfall too with a few of those storms. Looking ahead towards the weekend, it's going to be hot to start it out. 98 our high temperature on Saturday. Sunday we're at 94. There will be the chance for some showers and thunderstorms Wednesday and then again on Saturday and Sunday.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with out there at I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. We are dealing with a crash there in that area. We do know that at one point the entire, most of the lanes were shut down. They've been able to open up all of them there, but it's still a slow go. We're also dealing with another crash. That one is happening near the I-40 area, I-40 at Church Street in the heart of downtown. We're going to get to details about that coming up in the next few minutes.
7:27 is the time right now. A rally at the state capitol in Nashville. Why one group took the day off work to protest a landmark ruling.
And we're live in Gallatin this morning. That is where they will be voting on a brand new city council member coming up tonight. Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey is there for us. He's going to have the details on how many candidates they could have to choose from.
Good morning, 7:30 right now on Fox 17 News this morning. A war of words in Sumner County. The claims of bullying within Gallatin City Council and a vote set to happen today to fill a now empty seat.
And it's a nice way to start out the morning. Plenty of sunshine on that camera right there. That's how we're going to stay for the rest of the day, but it is going to be hot. We do bring in more clouds and also a chance for storms tomorrow. I'll have more on that in just a bit.
I-40 at Church Street in the heart of downtown dealing with a crash right at the exit. We're going to tell you the best way to deal with this.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Tuesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to our top story this half hour. It takes us to Sumner County, where right now counselors in Gallatin are getting ready to vote for a new council member after one councilwoman resigned earlier this month, saying she was the victim of bullying from another council member.
Joining us with some live updates is Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Jaron and Erica. So I spoke with Mayor Paige Brown. She's the mayor here in Gallatin, and she said she's disappointed by this situation, but there's always going to be challenges in government, even in local government. So we're live here in front of City Hall, and again, the city set to get a new councilor tonight to fill the empty seat. And so it was Eileen George. She was the former councilor who resigned 3 weeks ago, accusing Councilor Pascal Jovens and his supporters of bullying. George claiming this occurred through social media posts, texts, voicemails, and even in person. Jovens denies the accusations, and a lawyer sent a cease and desist to George. Now, last week, candidates made their case. There were more than 5 of them at the meeting last week, and actually 2 more that were not there that are in the running, though. And so the mayor, in addition to the current councilors, gets a vote tonight. Here's what she said when I asked if she picked a candidate yet.
I see positives in so many of them. I was really excited that there was so much interest. That surprised me in a very, very good way. I was surprised that we had a diversity of people who had lived here a long time and people who were relatively brand new, and that we had kind of an age span.
And so Mayor Brown did add that she was excited to see the age span that she just mentioned and does have faith in future leadership here in Gallatin. We'll certainly be following the vote closely on air on Fox 17 as well as online on our website, fox17.com. Live this morning in Gallatin, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And it sure is going to be another hot one for us here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky for today. And it's not just us dealing with this heat. This is a wider view just showing you all these heat alerts that are in effect. We have a lot of the country under those heat advisories. Everybody in orange, those are the heat advisories. Excessive heat warnings for some areas along the Mississippi River, too. We're not going to have to deal with heat that bad. And it's only our far western counties, Henry, Benton, Decatur County included within that heat advisory. That's going to be from 11 a.m. this morning to 8 p.m. later on this evening. It could feel like it's about 100 105 degrees around the Tennessee River. Not quite as bad the further east you go. 73 degrees right here in Nashville. It's still going to be a hot one for us here today, though. Upper 90s for the forecast high temperature later on this afternoon. Lower 70s for a lot of Middle Tennessee. Right now it's 7:33. Radar not showing any sort of rainfall for us. And then as we go through the rest of the day, we will warm up pretty quickly. Lower 90s by noon, mid 90s by 5 o'clock. And then your 7-day forecast, we're still looking at upper 90s today, mid 90s tomorrow, and a pretty good chance, or at least a better chance, for some more scattered showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a quick look here at I-40 at Church Street. That is where we are dealing with a bit of a crash off on the shoulder of the road. You can get by there. Don't be fooled by that. The emergency crews are there, but the exit ramp is open. This is really the exit ramp for Broadway, so you can get by in that area, though. I just know that things can be a little bit slow here in this area until they get that moved out of the way. All right, good news here on the north side, 65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. We were dealing with a crash here for the longest time. Looks like they have finally been able to get that out of the way. So great news there for you coming in from the north side, where it's been a rough morning. Lots of crashes so far that have really slowed things up. We'll continue to follow things. And yes, I'm reading your messages and getting tips about a crane that is sitting in the middle of traffic, not on the interstate, but near Spence Lane and Elm Hill Pike. I'm going to take a closer look into that coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. At 7:35 right now, making headlines this morning is a story that developed yesterday. We had several people go downtown just outside of the state capitol protesting, marking 2 years since overturning Roe versus Wade.
Well, we do understand that dozens of protesters, they lined up right along Charlotte Avenue outside the state capitol. They were expressing their disapproval of Tennessee's near total abortion ban. They say it's among the most restrictive in the country, only allowing the procedure to save a woman's life or protect her from severe bodily harm. Fox 17 News asked some protesters why they were out there demonstrating.
Being able to have that freedom, I mean, it's a basic human right.
Supporters of Tennessee's abortion law say this is about protecting life and unborn children. The Tennessee House Republicans' Twitter account posted in light of the 2-year mark since the overturning of Roe versus Wade, saying it was a victory for life.
We're also asking a question about this topic over on our Fox 17 News X account. Here you go. Should abortion rights be in the hands of state government or federal government? Right now, 84% of you all say state government. Go ahead and sound off by heading to our Fox 17 News social media platforms.
And this morning on Fox 17 News, we have a mother and son facing homicide charges this morning. We'll go to Robertson County, where police will explain what happened in moments.
And quick reminder, Fox 17 News, your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 all the way up until 9. Up next, our Code Red meteorologist tracking the hot temperatures. And of course, we got your steer clear traffic updates.
Facing homicide charges in Robertson County after a man's body was found along a set of train tracks. This happened very close to the Montgomery County border.
All right, so investigators telling us that Celia Ramirez Hernandez and her son, Misael Cruz Hernandez, shot Carlos Camaha at a home in Springfield and then took his body and dumped it along the train tracks. Investigators say Celia was the girlfriend of the victim at the time of the shooting. Both of them now being held without bond.
For a look at your forecast today, we're expecting another hot one. Britt Luna in this week for Greg.
And Justin, it is going to be a hot one for us today. We are under a heat advisory, at least a few of our counties are. This is going to be for Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties. That's from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. later on this evening. Heat index values within those areas could be pushing up to about 105. So that's what it could feel like close to the Tennessee River as we go throughout the day. Temperatures right now low to mid 70s for most areas. We have lower 60s in Clarksville, 63 over there, 73 in Gallatin. Same goes for us here in Nashville. Tullahoma just changed to 75, 74. That's the current temperature over there in Dickson. As far as any rain goes, we are not seeing any sort of rain right now. It is all dry across Tennessee and Kentucky. As we go throughout the rest of today, it's going to stay dry. Plenty of sunshine for us today, and our temperatures are going to move on up to 96 by 2 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, we're in the upper 90s. I think we top out today around the upper 90s, and this upcoming weekend, it's just going to be a hot weekend for us too as we head into the weekend. So we'll be taking a look at all that. Also show you when that next best rain chance is going to come up. It's going to come Wednesday. I'll let you know when it arrives, and also what you might can expect with that rain as it moves through on a Wednesday.
Steer clear traffic. We want to point your attention to a crash happening on I-40 near Church Street. This is in downtown Nashville. We are dealing with the crash there that does have the exit partially blocked, but you can get off there at Broadway, and a lot of cars are doing that. Very popular exit this time of the day. A lot of people working downtown or take this exit to get over to West End. So a lot of different things you can do here, but crews can and are allowing you to get by there on that particular exit there in downtown. Here's I-65 at Boers Lane. We were dealing with a major backup here a short time ago. Whatever it was, it's cleared out of the way, and you're in much better shape coming in from Williamson County. We're going to try to get you the latest drive times coming up here in the next few minutes.
Continuing coverage regarding juvenile crime here in the Mid-State. We'll tell you what some community advocates have to say about preventing jail time in moments.
A mental health crisis program in Nashville is ready for expansion. More details on what they call REACH coming up in a few.
Understand that Uber is locking out New York City drivers mid-shift. They're trying to lower minimum pay. Interesting. Now, nothing of that sort that we've heard about happening here in Nashville, but something of note. And live look, blue, sunny skies. The heat is on in New York City as well. Hey, let's come back here to Nashville and talk about our city's newest 911 option, also known as REACH. Okay, that's an acronym for Responders Engaged and Committed to Helping. And that group is set to finish a pilot program at the end of this month.
Yeah, they've also just been approved for an expansion. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live from the Nashville Fire Department with more updates about this program. Good morning, Madeline.
Good morning, and that's right. Fire department medics here, especially at those ones here at station number 9, stay busy. Just in the past hour that we've been here, we've seen several calls go out, but the pilot program with REACH makes sure of it. The goal through this co-response program, which pairs medics from the Nashville Fire Department with clinicians from the Mental Health Cooperative, is to respond to non-violent mental health crises, and in turn frees up ambulances and emergency room space. The program mirrors the Partners in Care co-response with the Metro Police, but most of the calls REACH gets are suicidal, about 69% to be exact, and they don't always need law enforcement response.
Mental health crises have been on the rise, and not only have the crises been on the rise, but the stigma has been decreased. People are talking about mental health. People are wanting help. Suicide has increased. We are really trying to eliminate all barriers for someone entering the mental health system, especially if they're in crisis. And that means a no wrong door approach. If you are a family member, call 911 or 862-8600 or 988 or the mobile crisis line. We want to make sure you get help no matter who you call, and the correct kind of help.
Last week, the program was boosted by Metro leaders passing the budget, which will now increase the hours of the program to include nights and weekends and also add more staffing. Well, in the past year alone, the REACH program saw more than 500 response calls to mental health crises. Of course, I'll have more about this program in the next half hour. For now, live here in downtown Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Now to continuing coverage. Fox 17 News digging into new numbers from the Metro Nashville Juvenile Court on the average number of young people in the detention center. And that much is changing from year to year.
Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Hughes joining us live in studio with a look at the newest report.
Yeah, good morning, Jen and Erica. So teen homicides are on the rise and detentions are holding steady. Last year's average, the juvenile detention center housed about 42. So far, 2024 is on that same path.
Taking a look at the numbers for the first 5 months from last year and this year. So far, 2024 is seeing a small increase, sitting at 206 juveniles housed in detention from January to May. In 2023, 203 from the same time frame. The average remains the same, 42 for the last year, and it's at 42 so far this year. Pastor Howard Jones is a Metro Nashville Public Schools principal and spent 10 years as a juvenile court probation officer. Pastor Jones does not believe putting kids behind bars is the answer.
You lock them up, they learn how to be a better criminal. You're going to lock them up with like-minded persons. Unless there is a strategic plan to literally help our students, our children be better, then we're setting ourselves up for failure.
But Pastor Jones again feels these numbers do not paint the entire picture.
How many are being released on ankle monitors? And that would be my greater question. And then what are we doing to actually change the behavior of our students, our children?
Judge Sheila Calloway says each child is treated based on their needs. Locking them up isn't always the answer. It's about making sure the kids are learning from their mistakes.
There are so many things that we do as a court system to make sure that we're providing good, positive programs for our youth to hold them accountable, to make sure that they understand what they did was wrong, and to help them to learn not to do those behaviors again.
Pastor Jones says everyone has to come together in order to make sure our youth stays on the right path.
Judge agrees these kids need positive role models and mentors and have structured schedules. That all goes a long way. Live in studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:49. How hot is it? That's the question we've been asking this morning on Facebook. Favorite sayings about the heat? We got a new one.
What you got?
It's hotter than a chainsaw in a pawn shop.
Yeah, okay.
That's from Jimmy Ransford.
That's a pretty good one.
Y'all are really creative. I've never heard that one. Have you?
No, I haven't.
So I don't have a favorite, how hot is it? But I do love that in the South, Southern women, we don't sweat, we glisten.
Yes.
Yes. Got to keep it classy.
I try. When I'm at the ballpark, though, straight up sweat.
That's a lot of glistening.
I think my favorite one that you've read so far was that cornbread one.
Yeah.
That cornbread one was good. All right, well, it's going to be a hot one today, and that's why we're talking about it. That's basically just a story for us for today. It's going to be some high heat across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Some of our counties are into that heat advisory. That's going to be for Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties. That's going to go from 11 until 8 o'clock tonight, and it could feel like it's about 105 around the Tennessee River. Temperatures right now, they're in the 60s to 70s, depending on where you're at. We're at 73 here in Nashville. Some of the higher temperatures, that's over in Paris, 78 degrees, the current temperature for Paris. No rain to show you right here on radar. It's all dry right now, and that's how it's going to stay as we go through the rest of the day too. All dry through the morning, through the rest of this morning, and through the afternoon hours. And then for Wednesday morning, we are going to start to see some of those showers and a few thunderstorms try to work their way into the area. This is the noon picture. This is an updated model run from what I was just showing. So at noon, kind of close to Interstate 65, and then that line just keeps on spreading to the south as we head into the rest of the afternoon hours, lining up around the plateau by about 5 o'clock, and then around Southern Kentucky by about 5 o'clock as well. Thursday morning, we're off to a dry start. I think we stay mostly dry throughout the rest of Thursday. Only a few showers possible around the plateau for Thursday. Most areas, though, will be dry. Severe weather outlook map for tomorrow. Everybody in that level 1 risk almost. We could see some of those storms produce some strong gusting winds. That'll be the main concern with some of those. Also some heavy rainfall, too. High at 95 tomorrow. We're down to 91 on Thursday.
Steer clear traffic as you take a look out here at the very latest. This is going to be 65 at Rosa Parks coming through the Metro Center area just north of downtown. Things are looking pretty good over there in that particular part of town. No big problems over there so far. We are running into a bit of a slowdown. We believe this is congestion there in that area for the most part. So you can't get by it with just some extra time. We've just picked up another crash there at I-40 at Elm Hill Pike. We're going to bring that to you coming up here in about 5 minutes.
Still ahead here on Fox 17 News, Fort Campbell is set to break ground on a $40 million project. The details on the new Tennessee Wings of Liberty Museum.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feeding America for our Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Campaign. You can donate by simply scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
Thursday's presidential debate between Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden. So things are heating up here, heating up down there. How hot? Here's another comment from y'all this morning over on our Facebook page. Spring has sprung, fall has fell, Summer's here, and it's hot as it was last year. So thanks to Barbara Young for that comment. Keep them coming all morning live through 9.
So creative. We're also looking ahead to Thursday and a big event celebrating the history of the 101st Airborne Division over at Fort Campbell, a groundbreaking. Community leaders are going to be on post for the groundbreaking for the Wings of Liberty Museum. Now, these are some of the renderings of the future. When it's all finished, it's going to be the second largest Army museum in the country. It's also going to focus on the historical impact of the Fort Campbell soldiers and truly provide a unique opportunity for Americans to learn more about U.S. history.
Yeah, and you'll do it through the eyes of the soldiers who were based at Fort Campbell. The $40 million project expected to open to the public late next year.
All right, dog lovers, listen up. The FDA announcing that the Virginia-based company named TDBBS is recalling more than 3,000 bags of their green tripe dog treats. Take a look at the screen. It's over concerns that the product may contain some metal objects. The recall, we understand, impacts 2 brands sold under the company, including Barkworthy's and Best Bully.
All right, so we can see the packaging right here on our screen. I do want you to take a good look here because you might recognize the package, but not necessarily the brand names. The FDA says these treats did go out to stores across the country and also have been sold online both in February and May of this year. So the good news here, no injuries, no sicknesses reported so far in any of the dogs. But if you have them, you should throw them out immediately or you can request a refund.
And it's going to just be another hot one for us here today across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. We have heat advisories out for a few of our counties, but it's not just us that's going to be dealing with this high heat today. Everybody in that shade of orange, which is a lot of the country, those are all heat advisories. And then we have those excessive heat warnings that are running right there across or along the Mississippi River in that shade of purple. But overall, just hot any way you slice it for a lot of the country for today. Here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, no alerts for most of us, but our far western counties, Henry, Benton, and Decatur County, still in that heat advisory. We could have it feeling like it's about 105 around the Tennessee River. No storms today, but this is the storm outlook map for tomorrow. Most of the viewing area is highlighted in that level 1 risk, everybody in that shade of green. So we could see a few of those storms that try to produce some strong winds. That's why we have that. Some strong winds, maybe a little bit of hail with some of those storms too. But I think the strong wind gusts will be the main concern with any of those storms that actually can get going. For this upcoming weekend, it's going to be hot and humid. I think we're also going to keep about a 30 to 40% chance for some showers and thunderstorms.
Steer clear traffic at 7:58 here this morning. Let's take a quick look at what we're dealing with. I-40 at Elm Hill Pike. That's a Metro Police car. They are sitting here on the shoulder. TDOT is also there. And then there is a disabled work truck that's right in front of them there. One of those trucks with the ladder on top. You know what I'm talking about. It's having some trouble there. So they're on the scene to try to make sure that car has the cover it needs to hopefully get help and get underway there out there on the road. So please watch out for crews as they continue to work that. This is 24 at Shelby in downtown. We are working with some slow traffic here. This is just congestion, we think. No major crashes right now. We'll continue to watch things.
Thank you, Justin. Right now, we're checking out what's trending over on Fox17.com, the stories that you want to read about before heading out the door, or maybe when you're at work and lunch break. We are keeping a very close eye on a story involving crisis in the classroom. The TCAP results showing only a slight rise in Tennessee 4th grade reading scores. That story certainly catching the attention of so many parents and teachers. If you would like to read more about the story and all the numbers, take a closer look at them, go to Fox17.com. You can also go ahead and sign up for our Fox 17 newsletter by heading to our website. Again, it is Fox17.com.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This morning on Fox 17 News, your only live and local station at 8 a.m. We're live outside Gallatin City Hall, previewing a special city council meeting tonight as the councilors are set to vote on a new member.
And it's just going to be another hot one for us. Heat advisories in effect for some areas. We also have a chance for some storms tomorrow. I'll have more details on that and when that storm chance arrives coming up here in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic at I-40 near Elm Hill Pike. A bit of a slowdown there because of a disabled vehicle. We'll tell you the best ways to steer clear.
Thank you all so much for joining us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are glad to be your live local news source. As Johnny just mentioned, here for your 8 o'clock hour, we've got you covered live through 9, updating you on the breaking news we've been following this morning. Police chase through Davidson and Wilson County finally comes to an end with 5 men in custody. This all started when those 5 people are accused of shooting at a police cruiser, narrowly avoiding a detective.
Yeah, so detectives say that they were conducting surveillance in the area, but thankfully they were not injured. So that is the good news update. Right now, though, we're mapping this all out for you on your screen, so take a look. Police say around 20 shell casings were found right here at the scene. Police also telling Fox 17 News that the shooters took off in a stolen Infiniti, which led police on an aerial pursuit to Mount Juliet. The Metro helicopter notifying the Mount Juliet Police Department, and they responded by then having to use spike strips on the suspects on I-40. This is all according to police. Now, the car was stopped. 5 people ran into the woods nearby, and that's when officers from other agencies, Mount Juliet officers, they had to go ahead and set up an area around the woods. They were able, though, to track down all 5 of the people responsible.
Also new this morning, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has issued a silver alert for this man missing out of Nashville for almost a month now. This is a picture of 80-year-old Robert Weissman, last seen May 29th on Sadler Avenue, driving a gray Chevy Trax. If you have any information on Mr. Weissman, please call the number there at the bottom of your screen. That's 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Happening this Tuesday, Gallatin is set to go ahead and set a new city council member. We're getting some more updates because we do understand, and we told you about this, one of them recently resigned, claiming she was a victim of bullying.
All right, so updates this morning from Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey. Johnny had a chance to catch up with Gallatin's mayor ahead of tonight's vote. He's live in Gallatin now with what she had to say. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So here in Gallatin, I talked to the mayor yesterday, and she said she's disappointed at some of the accusations, which we'll talk about in a moment. But what's happening tonight? Well, last week, several people were, making their case to the city councilors and trying to get that open seat. And it was Eileen George, the former councilor, who accused Pascal Jovens of bullying. Now, he is still in office. He denies those accusations. And again, it's all the seat will be voted on tonight. Now, Jovens actually did send a cease and desist order over the accusations. And I did ask Mayor Brown about those accusations.
It's disappointing. I mean, you don't want that for your city. You don't want that for individuals. It's always, always sad when someone's hurt, and it's difficult times these days. I mean, we're in a growing area, and there are lots of people unhappy about that, and people aren't their kindest all the time.
So the meeting is set for 6:30 tonight. We'll be following the vote closely right here on Fox 17. And coming up at 8:30 right here on Fox 17, well, we'll be hearing the answer to when I asked Mayor Paige Brown if she picked a candidate yet. Live in Gallatin, I'm Johnny Maffey, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Johnny, thanks so much. Johnny was up last night. We were up last night watching the College World Series, all coming to a thrilling end as the Vols win their first ever College World Series championship in Omaha.
University of Tennessee is the first #1 seed to win it all since 1999. I was just doing a little happy dance
Doing
out
a happy dance? Man, oh man, it was a great night. And in Knoxville, fans have been celebrating all through the night. We had video of people partying on campus, and they went to the Rock and painted it brand new to show, yes, they are now the national champions. We've also got a parade set for today.
Yes, 6:30.
That's tonight. It's going to go along Gay Street, and then as soon as the parade wraps up, they're supposed to have a big old party in Market Square.
Man, a big old party. I think folks are going to be up late tonight and then calling out sick tomorrow.
Perhaps. Well, a great reason to celebrate. Hope everybody is hydrated. It's going to be a hot one out there on Rocky Top. Brett, some good advice.
Yeah, did you just see that one guy walking with a hoodie on out there in front of the rock?
What the heck?
I know, there's
Maybe
no way.
he's just trying to protect his skin from the sun.
Maybe so. Well, hey, it is going to be a hot one, so if you do have any outdoor plans, just make sure you stay hydrated. Heat advisories in effect for a lot of the country right now, and these are going to stay in effect through today. Ours kicks in at 11 o'clock, and it's only a few of our counties that are under this heat advisory. That's Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties. County, so right there near the Tennessee River. This is going to go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. It could feel like it's about 105 in those areas for that time frame, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. 77 degrees our current temperature here in Nashville. Current temperatures for everybody else, low to upper 70s. Crossville has now bumped into the lower 70s as well, 71 over there in Crossville. Radar still not showing any sort of rainfall going on for us right now. We're going to stay dry through the rest of today. Tomorrow, though, we begin to bump that rain chance up. A 60% chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A few of those storms could produce some strong gusty winds, also some heavy rainfall at times too. 95 tomorrow, 91 our high temperature on Thursday.
Steer clear traffic. We are watching a Metro Police car pull off there at I-40 at Elm Hill Pike. That is the leftovers of a crash we were dealing with, or at least a disabled vehicle. Maybe I should frame it that way. From a little bit earlier this morning here, you're going to watch the T-Dot magic now as they maneuver the cameras out here. Watch that police car pull off. They're gone, and then the T-Dot truck, there's that cargo van they were following right there, and then the cargo van right behind them, it's gone too. So just like that, we're out of there and wide open again here on I-40 near Elm Hill Pike. We're also following a slowdown at Central Pike, a couple of miles behind it. We're going to tell you the best ways to deal with this coming up in a few.
Justin, thanks. Just ahead, the efforts to keep first responders on the payroll. Justin McFarland explains why Clarksville.
This Clarksville really is Hendersonville to Wilson County. Now in Clarksville, they're dealing with the same problem. They want to try to hold on to their law enforcement, their firefighters, first responders. They're in high demand as the mid-state continues to grow. What's happening is many people who get into that particular business decide that after they get the training, they're looking for whichever city has the highest pay. And so they're going to those particular cities, leaving the city where they trained, well, short a first responder. Now, a lot of cities have responded by trying to pay their first responders more. However, in Clarksville, one alderman named Wanda Smith says that the reasons people leave have nothing to do with pay. She says they're not being treated fairly, and she's tired of passing pay raises with departments who don't behave right.
I don't think that any department should get a 5% increase if the department is not diverse. If the city does not look like the people it represents, it shouldn't be getting a 5% increase every year. We ought to hold each department responsible to do their job. We need to recognize, hey, we are a city of a diverse people. And if we only just gonna hire one race, that's not right. But you want a 5% increase every time we open our mouths. We need to keep giving 5%. For what? So you can keep doing the same thing over and over again. There needs to be a change.
There's the opinion of just one alderman there. Some cities say they are considering having some of their brand new recruits sign contracts so that they have to serve for a certain amount of time after they finish training. Well, new this morning, Metro Police say that a man is facing several charges after he's accused of waving a gun around on a bus. Police say that Enrico Groves was arrested yesterday near the Weiss Liquors on Main Street. That's over in East Nashville. They say before he got off the bus, he took out a revolver and threatened a woman. They say that Groves appeared to be extremely drunk at the time. Groves is charged with aggravated assault and assault with a deadly weapon. Police say he's also under the influence, so that adds some additional charges. In Operation Crime and Justice, one man is now in custody after police say he was the cause of a deadly crash nearly 3 years ago on Trinity Lane. According to Metro Police, William Tribune was taken into custody in Rutherford County. Police say back in June of 2021, he was driving a Dodge Charger at a high rate of speed when that car ran off the road. Now, once that car ran off the road, it overturned, killing another man, Xavier Dunlap. Police say that the suspect and another passenger were both hurt in that crash. He's now facing charges of vehicular homicide by intoxication as well as vehicular assault.
And it's a nice start to the morning. Plenty of sunshine out there right now, and that's how it's going to stay throughout most of the day today. There are some storms on the way, though, tomorrow. I'll let you know what you can expect of those storms and when they arrive coming up in just a bit.
Taking a look at your steer clear traffic this morning, that is a live look there at I-40 at Central Pike coming in from Hermitage. We've got the best ways to steer clear of any backups. Plus, we're taking a live look over at the Nashville Fire Department. That's where they've got a brand new program to address mental health crisis happening across the mid-state. Our own Madeline Nolan has a look at the detail.
Who are offering a $10,000 reward. They're trying to get some more information for the driver responsible for hitting the owner of Smokin' Thighs restaurant. So we're mapping this out for you. We do know what happened in the parking lot of Smokin' Thighs Wednesday afternoon. Police say the owner, Matthew Carney, was seriously injured in this crash. Witnesses say that a 1980s to early 2000s model black pickup truck may have been involved.
So again, police and business owners coming together to get justice here. If you have any information about that driver, or maybe you saw something involving a black pickup truck on Wedgwood last Wednesday, please call Crime Stoppers. We've got the number here on the bottom of your screen. That's 615-742-7463.
We're also getting some more details this Tuesday morning about a pilot program in Nashville that has just been expanded.
Yeah, this is meant to free up Nashville ambulances, plus at the same time help people who are experiencing a mental health crisis.
Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live right there outside of a downtown fire station. Madeline, what do we need to know about this REACH program?
I can tell you that's the Nashville fire station here, especially the one at fire station number 9 right behind me. You see, right now they're actually getting a call, but since we've been here for the past 2 hours, we've seen multiple calls for service go out, and that's pretty much what this pilot program is. REACH, or Responders Engaged and Committed to Helping, uses the fire department sending mental health professionals with medics. According to the director of co-response services at the Mental Health Cooperative, they answer mental health calls that would normally be answered by ambulances. In their pilot year alone, they saw more than 570 calls, and that's a lot of work for just 2 counselors riding with the fire department medics. But as this pilot program ends at the end of the month, the success has been proven.
These ambulances would have gone on these calls, 100% of people would have gotten an ambulance trip in a bill, an emergency room stay in a bill. Right now, we're able to divert from the ER about 65 to 70%, depending on the month, and 25% of those go directly to our crisis treatment center. About 11% go directly to a psychiatric facility for treatment. About 30% of the people their issues are resolved at home, and we're able to really help those people.
Last week, Metro leaders voted to boost the REACH program, passing the city's budget, which will increase the hours of the program to also include nights and weekends. Now, this program kind of mirrors the Partners in Care program with the Metro Police Department, but theirs, they typically responded to mental health crises that also involve police response. Here, live at the fire station in downtown Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News. Your Code Red Station.
All right, there is an old country song. Y'all might know it, Chattahoochee.
Yeah.
All right, they talk about putting rubber on the Georgia asphalt. Got a little crazy, never got caught. Well, one of our viewers this morning said, how hot is it? Hotter than the Georgia asphalt.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Lots
of
comments still coming in. Y'all keep them coming. It's kind of fun to read them. Some of them are not suitable for work, so we can't say them on the air.
That's right.
Like one referencing goats.
We're
But
gonna leave it at that.
if you want to read the comments, just head over to the Facebook page.
Perfect. And hey, it is going to be a hot one for us, and that's why we're talking about all this. And I know I sound like a broken record, but that's just going to be the story for us for the next several. I mean, we are in summertime here in Tennessee after all, but today's going to be a hot one, and it's actually going to be hotter than normal. We're going to be about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year right here in Nashville. So most of Middle Tennessee not in any sort of alerts. We do have some of those alerts though for our more western areas, Henry, Benton, and Decatur County, in that heat advisory from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. could feel like it's about 105. No storms for us today. We are looking at some more thunderstorms though as we head on into tomorrow. A 60% chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. 95 degrees our high temperature. A few of those storms tomorrow could produce some strong winds and some brief heavy rainfall too.
Let's talk about clear traffic this morning. Let's get you to the north side. I-65 at Trinity Lane. We are dealing with some slight slowdowns there. Nothing close to what we were dealing with earlier this morning. That is for sure. We've had a couple of different closures on 65 this morning so far, but nothing right now. Everything that was happening right now that was causing drama has now cleared up there. So great news for you making that drive in. Not so much on I-24. This is I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway, making that drive in from Antioch. Some stop and go, which is typical for this time of the day. It'll clear up here eventually. No major crashes out there. This is just all your friends and neighbors getting out there at the same time. That drive time from Murfreesboro into downtown Nashville, just under an hour right now.
A mid-state man telling Fox 17 News that he is just at his wit's end with Metro Water Services. He claims they're delivering empty promises on chronic flooding on his property. We'll take a look at that story in minutes.
And right now, Fox 17 News showing you a live look from Franklin. This is where the Blackberry Jam Festival is happening this Saturday. It's happening at the park at Harlansdale Farm. It's going to get started at 4:30 p.m. Maybe you're looking for something fun to do with your family. That's a great option. We're going to have some more details, I know, posted on fox17.com.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feeding America for our Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Campaign. You can donate by simply scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
Mid-state man who is in a battle with the Metro Water Department because of flooding that is out there in front of his home.
After seeing our original story right here on Fox 17 News, Metro Water Services agreed to go send somebody over to check it out and see whether the city was in any way responsible for this. The homeowner says he has yet to see them.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar has his story.
They're not paying any attention to me at all. They don't want to deal with me or my problem.
John Cripps is frustrated his complaints about constant flooding to his home are not being taken care of.
I don't know what to do.
He has lived in this home on Bull Run Road for nearly 5 decades. In the last 10 years, he says his house has been flooded over and over again. He says it's caused damage to his property.
It's cost me over $10,000 in fence repairs. This washed 700 foot of fence away one time, 500 foot of fence away, and then 400 foot of fence away. And it will do it again.
Metro Water Services told Fox 17 News they put in a culvert right here, but that was 5 years ago.
Has Metro Water Services come out ever since they put that culvert in?
No, they haven't.
Take a look at his culvert. It still has water in it, even with the heat. Cripps tells me that he wants his culvert to look like his neighbors, including having a box culvert.
Well, I think they could dig the ditch deeper and go straight to the creek.
When we first reached out to Metro Water Services, they said they weren't going to come out. Then they said they would. John Cripps is still waiting for them to contact him.
I think I've lost all hope.
Well, that was Karen Aguilar reporting. Mr. Cripps clearly frustrated. Fox 17 News has followed up with Metro Water Services. They tell us that the stormwater team would come out this week or next week. We'll be sure to follow up.
In the meantime, let's get to your forecast. Brent Luna out here to tell us about another hot one today, man.
Yeah, I know, just another hot one, and that's going to be the story for really a lot of the country as we go through the rest of today. Heat advisories in effect for everywhere you see those boxes of orange. Those are counties that are covered by that heat advisory. And then right here along the Mississippi River, we have that excessive heat warning. That's for those counties highlighted in that shade of purple. Very hot along the Mississippi River. Here, we're not going to have to deal with quite that much heat, but it's still going to be about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Henry, Benton, and Decatur County right here in our viewing area are included in that heat advisory. That's from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. this evening. It could feel like it's about 105 degrees there near the Tennessee River. No storms expected today. Plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow that changes. We are in that level 1 risk. A few of those storms tomorrow afternoon could bring some strong wind gusts and also some heavy rainfall, maybe just a little bit of hail for us too. And then as we head on into this upcoming weekend, Saturday is going to be another hot one. High temperature around 98 on Saturday.
Steer clear traffic at 827. A quick look here at what we're dealing with at I-65 at Armory Drive. This is on the south side. If you've got that early morning doctor's appointment, like a lot of people do, over there at the Vanderbilt Medical Center, there at the Medical Mall, over off I-65, you're in good shape this morning. Or if you're trying to get to the airport, which a lot of people coming from Franklin and Brentwood use 65 in this area to do, you're in good shape there as you hook up with 440. We'll continue to follow things out there, but right now things are calming down after a fairly busy morning.
Pro-life and pro-choice advocates speaking out in light of the 2-year mark since the Roe versus Wade ruling reversal. We're going to tell you what they had to say as they took to the streets of Nashville.
Plus, we're live in Gallatin this morning. That is where Fox 17 News' Johnny Mathie is following the latest involving the Gallatin City Council. They're going to be trying to fill a vacant seat. Why is it vacant to begin with? He's got the whole backstory coming up in a few.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, a war of words in Sumner County that claims of bullying within Gallatin City Council in a vote that is set to happen today to fill a now empty seat.
And it's going to be another hot one for us. We have plenty of sunshine right there, a lot of blue sky, and that's how it's going to stay for the rest of today. There's a chance for some thunderstorms, though, tomorrow. I'll let you know when they arrive and also what you can expect coming up here in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. We are dealing with heavy traffic levels coming into the city. We're going to tell you the latest drive times and the best way to steer clear as we ride the ride of the TDOT cameras.
Buckle up. Yeah, our final 30 minutes of Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning starts now. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We have you covered for the next 30 minutes as your live local news source through 9. And new this half hour, Tennessee Highway Patrol telling Fox 17 News that one person has now died after a crash on I-24 this morning. This happened very early down in Coffee County near Manchester. Troopers telling us that Jason Hogan had been riding his motorcycle when he lost control and flipped. A woman driving behind Hogan tried to swerve to miss him, but unfortunately could not avoid hitting him. Mr. Hogan pronounced dead there at the scene of that crash. Right now, no charges are being filed against the driver who was behind him there on I-24.
Now to Gallatin, where right now city councilors in Gallatin are getting ready to vote for a new councilor tonight after one member resigned earlier this month because she said she was being bullied.
A lot of back and forth here, a bit of a war of words, but yes, ultimately resulting in that empty council seat. So our Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Mathie been in Sumner County this morning talking with the mayor of Gallatin. Johnny, what does she have to say about this whole situation?
Well, Jen, Mayor Paige Brown tells me that she's disappointed about the situation, but she says there's always going to be challenges in government, even local government. And so we're right here outside City Hall this morning in Gallatin. And again, the city set to get a new councilor tonight because the councilor is going to vote on that empty seat after Eileen George resigned. That was 3 weeks ago, back on June 4th, accusing Councilor Pascal Jovens and his supporters of bullying. Now, George claimed this occurred through text, social media posts, voicemails, and even in person. Jovens denies the accusations, though, and a lawyer did send a cease and desist order regarding the bullying claims to George. Now, last week, candidates met and made their case in front of councilors and Mayor Brown, who does have a vote tonight. And here's what she said when I asked her if she's picked a candidate yet.
I see positives in so many of them. I was really excited that there was so much interest. That surprised me in a very, very good way. I was surprised that we had a diversity of people who had lived here a long time and people who were relatively brand new, and that we had kind of an age span.
And Mayor Brown does add that she has faith in the future leadership here in the City Council. Now, the meeting is tonight at 6:30. We'll certainly be keeping a close eye on it right here on air and online on fox17.com. Live in Gallatin, I'm Johnny Mathie. We'll send it back to the studio.
Johnny, thank you. 8:34 is the time. We're checking in because a lot of folks are on summer vacation. Maybe you're outside, you want to get to the pool, or maybe you have baseball practice, Jen?
Whatever it might be. We've got your forecast for it.
I think I'm going to try to go to the pool because, I mean, this is just perfect weather for the pool, at least for me.
Take
it's going to be a hot one. Yeah, take some snacks, take some water, electrolytes, all that sort of stuff. Just stay hydrated because it's going to be a hot one for you today. We're going to have This high temperatures this afternoon here in Nashville could be pushing pretty close to the triple digits. I don't think we'll hit the triple digits. I think we're going to top off at the upper 90s, probably around 98 or so. Heat advisories in effect for a lot of the country. West Tennessee and heat advisories. We have a few of our counties in those heat advisories too. Henry, Benton, and Decatur counties from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. It could feel like it's about 105 over there near the Tennessee River. 77 degrees right here in Nashville. Plenty of sunshine. It'll stay that way through the rest of today. Temperature map just updated. We now have 77 in Murfreesboro, Nashville, Tullahoma, 80 right now in Dickson. Same goes for Lewisburg. As far as any rain goes, not seeing any of that. All dry here on the radar map. We're going to stay dry through the rest of today. Lower 90s by noon, mid 90s by 5 o'clock. And then we have that 60% chance for some showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. 95 the high tomorrow, 91 on Thursday. So that's going to be one of our cooler days. Then we heat back up again as we head into this upcoming weekend.
Let's get to your clear traffic out there this morning, everyone, as we poke around here. We are dealing with a crash involving, and we will find here, a crash on I-24 right at I-440 there. It's happening on the east side of town. So we've seen it there. Here we are. If we have to go through all of our cameras to try to locate it there. This is what we're dealing with. 24 at I-440. Metro Police on the scene along with TDOT, the fire department. There's an ambulance there. Unsure exactly all the components with this. We are unsure if anybody's hurt or exactly what caused all of this. Obviously, we'll continue to try to take a closer look at it, try to get some more details. Just know it is coming in from that south and east side there, right where 24 meets 440 at the junction. We'll continue to follow it for you.
Definitely keeping all eyes on that. Now on Fox 17 News this morning, a mother and son facing homicide charges. What police say happened.
And right now, 2 different live looks from Nashville. Top left is downtown, hot and hazy to kick off your Tuesday morning. Bottom right, as Justin just mentioned, we'll be looking closer at that crash involving a school bus along I-24 near I-440. Those live updates in minutes. After a man's body was found along train tracks right near the Montgomery County line.
All right, so investigators say that Celia Ramirez Hernandez and her son, Mescal Cruz Hernandez, they were the ones who shot Carlos Jumana at their home in Springfield, then took his body and dumped it along a set of train tracks. Investigators say that Celia was the victim's girlfriend at the time of that shooting. Both are now being held without bond.
And it is going to be another hot one for us, too. We have heat advisories in effect for parts of Middle Tennessee. This is really going to be for Henry, Benton, and Decatur County. This is going to be from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. later on this evening. It could feel like it's about 105 degrees once you get closer to the Tennessee River. So a very high day for us here in parts of Tennessee. And other parts of the country, you're going to be dealing with some high heat as well today. Temperatures right now, lower 70s to the lower 80s. We're at 71 in Clarksville, 73 in McMinnville, 77 right here in Nashville. And then we do have some lower 80s, 81 in Linden, 80 right now in Dickson, also down in Lewisburg and in Lawrenceburg. Radar not showing any sort of rainfall for us right now. It is all dry. That's how we're going to stay through the rest of the day. If you have any plans later on this afternoon, just make sure you stay hydrated. It is going to stay hot. Still a great day for you, though. Plenty of sunshine, 91 by noon, mid-90s at 2 o'clock, and then by 4, we should have high temperatures in the upper 90s. That's about where we're going to top out, 98 this afternoon. Tomorrow, we bring in a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms. I'll have more on the timing on that coming up and some of the what comes along with that you can expect, strong winds, stuff like that coming up here in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a quick look here at what we're dealing with at I-24 and I-440. That is where we continue to follow this crash involving a school bus there sitting in the zebra stripes. Unsure if anybody's hurt. We do know for sure that Metro Schools, of course, is out for the summer. However, there are summer schools out there for sure, and summer camps, things like that, where school students would still need to be transported. So we're unsure exactly even what kind of bus this is, whether or not it's a Metro bus or a charter school bus, or a lot of different kinds of buses. Unfortunately, can look like these big yellow buses here at the white tops. So we'll continue to stay on top of it, let you know whatever else we find. Just know that we are making calls, and everything is in the zebra stripes. The interstate is open, so you can't get by.
Alrighty, 8:42 right now. Just wanted to let you know if you saw a big commotion near the state capitol in Nashville yesterday. This was a rally that marked 2 years since the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And we had both pro-life and pro-choice activists, you could say, just outside of the Capitol to talk about their concerns on both sides of that issue.
Now, we saw some of them gathering there. Some would say that Tennessee's abortion law is some of the most restrictive laws in the country. We spoke to some of those protesters who were voicing their opinion, obviously. We also want to tell you that, meanwhile, supporters of this particular law says that this is about protecting the rights of the unborn children. Tennessee House Republicans' Twitter account posted in light of the 2-year mark since the overturning of Roe versus Wade, saying that it was a victory for life.
Now, we asked over on our Fox Nashville Twitter account, where we tend to do a question of the day on, big stories. So we asked, do you think that abortion rights should be in the hands of state government or the federal government? And about 775 of you voted, 774 to be exact. 84% of you saying that state government should be able to make those decisions. This is live right now. If you want to sound off, scan the QR code right there on your screen.
Well, coming up, we've got continuing coverage of juvenile crime across the mid-state. We're going to tell you what some people have to say about trying to stop teens from going to jail.
Is set to go ahead and finish their pilot program at the end of this month.
We understand that that program has just been approved to expand, and our Fox 17 News reporter Madeline Nolan joins us now from the Nashville Fire Department to explain how it could help.
Fire department medics here in Nashville, especially like the one here at station number 9, they stay busy. In the past few hours, we've actually gotten multiple calls for service go out, and the pilot program with Reach makes sure of it. The goal through this co-response program, which pairs medics from Nashville Fire Department with clinicians from the Mental Health Cooperative, is to respond to non-violent mental health crises and in turn frees up ambulances and emergency room space. The program mirrors the Partners in Care co-response with the Metro Police, but most of these calls that Reach gets are suicidal, 69% to be exact, and they don't necessarily need law enforcement response.
Mental health crises have been on the rise, and not only have the crises been on the rise, but the stigma has been decreased. People are talking about mental health. People are wanting help. Suicide has increased. We are really trying to eliminate all barriers for someone entering the mental health system, especially if they're in crisis. And that means a no wrong door approach. If you are a family member, call 911 or 862-8600 or 988 or the mobile crisis line. We want to make sure you get help no matter who you call, and the correct kind of help.
Last week, the program was boosted by Metro leaders passing the budget, which will now increase the hours of the program to include nights and weekends, and also add more staffing. Now, in the past year alone, the Reach program has responded to over 570 calls for service. For now, here in Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Madeline, thank you. We have continuing coverage too, because Fox 17 News, we've been looking into more new numbers from the Metro Nashville Juvenile Court regarding the average number of juveniles housed in the detention center.
Right, so unfortunately, not much has changed from year to year, but we're going to dive into the numbers now with Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live in studio.
Yeah, that's right, Jen and Erica. So teen homicides are on the rise and detentions are holding steady. Last year's average, the Juvenile Detention Center housed about 42. So far, 2024 is on the same path.
Taking a look at the numbers for the first 5 months from last year and this year. So far, 2024 is seeing a small increase, sitting at 206 juveniles housed in detention from January to May. In 2023, 203 from the same time frame. The average remains the same, 42 for the last year, and it's at 42 so far this year. Pastor Howard Jones is a Metro Nashville Public Schools principal and spent 10 years as a juvenile court probation officer. Pastor Jones does not believe putting kids behind bars is the answer.
You lock them up, they learn how to be a better criminal. You're going to lock them up with like-minded persons. Unless there is a strategic plan to literally help our students, our children be better, then we're setting ourselves up for failure.
But Pastor Jones again feels these numbers do not paint the entire picture.
How many are being released on ankle monitors? And that would be my greater question. And then what are we doing to actually change the behavior of our students, our children?
Judge Sheila Calloway says each child is treated based on their needs. Locking them up isn't always the answer. It's about making sure the kids are learning from their mistakes.
There are so many things that we do as a court system to make sure that we're providing good, positive programs for our youth to hold them accountable, to make sure that they understand what they did was wrong, and to help them to learn not to do those behaviors again.
Pastor Jones says everyone has to come together in order to make sure our youth stays on the right path.
The judge agrees, and these kids need positive role models and mentors and have structured schedules. That can go a long way. Live in studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And it's just going to be another warm one for us. We have heat advisories in effect for parts of the viewing area. This is going to be Henry, Benton, and Decatur County that are included within that heat advisory. This is going to go from 11 o'clock until 8 o'clock this evening. So it's going to stay hot over there. Heat index values pushing close to 105 around the Tennessee River. Just going to be a very hot day, especially the further west you go. Current temperatures for us, we're in the 70s and 80s. 77, that's our current temperature right here in Nashville. No rain on the radar map either. It is all dry. We're going to stay dry through the rest of today. Future track not able to pick up on any rainfall right here across Middle Tennessee or Southern Kentucky. And then as we head on into tomorrow, that's when this will start to change up a little bit. We do have a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow. This is going to start to move in from the northwest late tomorrow morning, early tomorrow afternoon. That's the noon picture right here. That line of storms will keep on moving to the south and east as we head through the rest of the afternoon, lining up around the plateau by about 5 o'clock. And then we should also see a little bit of that activity in the parts of Southern Kentucky too around that same time. And then we should be clearing out for the rest of Thursday. Some of those storms that do develop tomorrow afternoon could try to produce some strong wind gusts, maybe just a little bit of hail. Some of those storms also could bring some heavy rainfall with a few of those as well. Overall, there's no widespread severe weather threat for us for tomorrow. Wednesday, we're at 95. There's that 60% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Lower 90s for us on Thursday as we head on into the weekend. It gets hot with highs back in the upper 90s.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-24 and I-440. We continue to follow a crash in that area that did involve a school bus. And we're unsure where this bus is from, where it was going, if any children are on board, anything like that. I know it is in the middle of the summer, obviously, so the regular school year is not in, but summer camps very much are. There are also summer sessions that are happening right now for Metro students and other students as well. Also, charter schools may have their own programs, and guess what? They all use buses that look just like this. So we're unsure exactly where this bus was going, but obviously we're trying to figure that out. We were putting in some calls. It doesn't look like anyone is severely hurt at this particular moment. The ambulance just left the scene a short time ago. The truck that was involved with this is also gone as well. Let me show you exactly where it is. It's right where 24 meets I-440 as you make that drive into town from Antioch. You can try to take Murfreesboro Road if you would like.
New this morning, just into the Fox 17 newsroom, Metro Police telling us a man is facing several charges accused of waving a gun on a bus. Police say Enrico Groves just arrested near Vice Liquors on Main Street. They say before he got off the bus, he took out a revolver and threatened a woman. They also say Groves appeared to be, as they put it, extremely drunk. We have reached out to several sources here from our newsroom to find out whether this happened on a WeGo bus or a different bus of some sort. But the man who is accused, Enrico Groves, now facing a long list of charges.
Hey, if you're out and about today and you see a lot more orange than normal, perhaps where you work or if you're going to get lunch, that's because Vols fans across the country are celebrating. We're taking a live look over at The Rock at the University of Tennessee's Knoxville campus. We're talking about the championship-winning baseball team.
Big stuff here. Great win last night